Says I'm streaming right now. Start streaming. It let me go. And then I should be able to go back over into YouTube land.
Yep, I see it. We're live.
We are live. Do we have audio?
Yep, we're live.
All right, we're getting all kinds of feedback here.
Says we're live from Disney.
Perfect. That's all it says?
Yep.
You're not able to see my screen?
Oh, no, we see it. I see the screen.
Sweet. I am going to see if I can't.
Yeah, we can see you.
And audio, is it good, bad?
Let me go on mute and check it. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's what I was just doing. John, you were sounding good. There is a little bit of feedback from something, but I think
yeah, I'm wondering if it's coming from. If it's coming from this or from. Okay. So that's where it's coming from. So it's coming through my. And I don't know if they can hear you on the stream or not.
I can hear you again now.
Perfect. We'll just leave it as is. So, thanks for sticking with us. Everything seems to be kind of nailed out now. Let me just get over to the stream so I can actually see. Streaming live from Disney. Maybe not live from Disney, but
yeah, it sounds good.
Sweet.
Yep, sounding awesome.
Perfect. We are back. Looks like I've got some frame rate issues there, but I'm probably
lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
Video bitrate is up. Encoding is up. It looks a little fuzzy to me, but
there's a little bit of compression and artifacting,
but not bad.
Not terrible. No,
it's close enough that you can kind of make it out, right? It's not like anything I need to kill it for, right?
Yeah, no. I can see, like, there's a J-hook set of targets. I can see those.
Sweet.
I can read the numbers on your AOs.
Okay, perfect. Then we're good to go. And I think it's the three of us sitting here again, so.
So I'm guessing Bobby's an AlgoBox user too, because he seems pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. J-hooks, AOs.
I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but I am familiar with the system. Yeah, I got into learning it and then got sucked into my current job and haven't had a chance to get back to it, but I'm trying to get back into it.
So AlgoBox is kind of a family thing with us. So I think Vinny's pool should be like courtesy of our family. That's just kidding, Vinny. Just kidding. No, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 licenses between us. 4 licenses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm trying to get Jonathan to get into it as well. But
yeah, so we've
one thing at a time with him.
I think I've got in total between like people I personally know. We've got like 5 in the family that do it, and then I have probably the same amount of friends that do it. Admittedly, one of my buddies is probably the most successful user with AlgoBox that I know. Like obviously outside of people like Schwartz. So a guy that got into trading futures, he's taken out 6 figures from Apex at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm only at how many figures am I? I'm 5 figures.
So this
Hey,
is an old
That's still
golfing
better
buddy
than
of
my
mine.
0. So no shame there.
Yeah, at one point in time he had, I don't know if he still does, but he had 2,300K accounts.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
quite the spread there.
Well, he did it was back when they were running those specials on the 300Ks.
Yeah, where they were 50. They
Yeah.
were all $50 or something.
Which
like
they're,
that.
yeah, they were like $40 or something like that. 40, 50, I know they're $50 right now because I actually bought one the other day.
Yeah, I bought a few of them and I passed them, but then I blew them up pretty quick. That was back before I learned how to properly shift my trading style back to something that's,
More reasonable.
Yeah. And then I decided, I only trade one contract at a time, and it takes forever to hit the profit targets on those larger accounts for me, for my trading style.
Yep.
And if I'm only going to trade one contract at a time, I really only need a 50K account.
I mean, with your win rate, you could probably get away with a 20K account or 25K account.
Probably, but you know what? I don't like if they had more of a drawdown, I'd do it, because the problem is I'm okay with taking on more risk than the account size lets me.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if I had $50,000 of my own money in my own live account, which I don't, but if I did, I wouldn't necessarily put a daily stop limit on myself of 1250 like some of these prop firms do. Also, I might let a trade go against me more than $500, like Apex allows 5-1 or whatever. So
Right.
but for me, so I couldn't trade a 25K account. I'd probably blow it up. But the 50K seems to be like the sweet spot for me.
Gotcha.
Order submitted.
What I really
Yeah,
wish
or-
is I wish I could have a
order
300
fetch.
Target. Bam, bam.
300.
I'll
Yeah,
admit
so
that's a favorite little trade of mine. So I'll swing this over into my.
yeah, let me see what you're talking about.
So these are just moving averages on a 1,000-tick chart. And once I break the 14, so this is the 7, the 9, the 14, the 21, and they're just moving averages. It's a free indicator, but it's a moving average. But once I break the 14, I just take the scalp up to the 21.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's just a quick reversion trade for a quick target. Collects me 25. Now, I'll admit today, I did get a little heavy-handed with one of those, and it helped me out pretty tremendously. It works even better when you've got a much larger move down, because then your channels get aligned, and that's what I caught today. It was in alignment with your trade, where I'm waiting on the channels. The channels had turned green. I'd gotten across on the other side of the channel, and then I just held it all the way up to that 21.
Nice. Did you see that?
Did I see what? Bobby, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Did we lose him?
Okay. Yeah, I lost his audio there for a second.
And did you see that?
Yep.
I'm back.
You're back.
There you go. There he is.
Oh, you know what happened is, so when I clicked your link, I did it from within the Gmail app on my phone, and it loaded this web page inside the mail app. So when my phone went to sleep, it stopped working. So I gotta actually what I'm going to do is launch this in the Safari browser and then I'll rejoin. But let me finish my story first. So earlier today, because you were talking about the channels lining up.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw it, but in Vinny's Discord earlier today, I put a screenshot of like 2 trades I took right in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the absolute perfect setup because the channels on the channel on the 9s and the 3s were both green, both way up at like a 40-degree angle. And we pulled right down into that lower third and boom, Enigma long. Got like 50 ticks out of it.
Really?
And then we pulled down into the lower third again, and boom, bright green fib dot right in a shark or something like that, long, another 50 some odd ticks, just boom, boom, 2 trades right in a row.
Sweet. I did not capture those. I was probably in meetings during that time.
Probably, yeah.
But
All
yeah.
right, let me see if I can rejoin this here. Let me launch this app in a better way. So I'll be right back with you guys.
Sounds good. Thank you.
John, I think I asked this in one of the previous streams that I joined, but I'm still trying to make sense of it. So these channels, what are you guys doing here with those?
So it gives us so it's giving you an idea. Well, it's not an idea of trend. It's telling you what the trend over the last 100 bars on the MACV chart, what that trend is. So it's setting that channel. What you're waiting on is the channels on the 3s and the 9s to be in the same color. So it's using the channel regulator that's in it. Slightly different settings on the channel on the 3s and the 9s. So we're using a slightly different deviation than what comes standard out of AlgoBox. Standard on this from Vinny is I think it's a 4. We're using 3.5, and then we're using 100 here on the 9s, and then we're using 300 and 3.5 on the 3s. Now, admittedly, I believe Jesse is working on seeing if he can't get a little bit better settings on that as he's tuning that setup. But basically, you're looking for price. So in this case, imagine that on the MACV chart, so this 9 AlgoBar chart, that's blue background in the middle of my screen. Imagine that channel regulator. So the red dashed lines, imagine those are green. And then you have green channel regulators on the 3s. We would be waiting on price to pull back into the bottom third of the 3s. And we would be looking for a long signal in the bottom in the bottom third. So specifically, ideally, you would be getting some sort of order flow signal long. So an Enigma long, an Alpha Omega, that would be taking you long. But even a cross can be a reason to enter. A ready up, so a delta signal down there. The trade he was describing moments ago, a power dot inside of a shark at the bottom of the channel. So in the bottom third of the channel. So what you're trying to do is it's effectively a continuation trade back in the direction of the trend. So you're playing a pullback and a continuation of that trend. That's what you're playing.
Okay. Makes sense.
But it helps keep, and then Jesse has a couple different ATMs that he uses that have trailing stops that kick in, that follow price all the way through to target. So specifically, not the small. So in here, and I've been killing some of these default ATMs that are in here as I pull them up and see them. So like specifically for this trade, it's a one contract trade typically. I'm running 2 right now, but it has no profit target. But it has at 26 ticks, it kicks in a stop that trails it by 6 ticks. So most you drop is 6 ticks, and every new tick, it pushes the stop up, so it just trails it and follows it. So when you get one of these runners like you got today, you can get 50 ticks before you get any kind of return out of these trades.
Yeah, and so the important part of that is because we're taking trades out of that lower third of the channel. In most moves on NQ, the hesitation comes before you get to 20 ticks and after 26, after 26, right? So if the trade is initiated in the bottom third of the channel, so the goal is it'll pop up about 10 or 14 ticks. It hesitates a tiny little like 1 bar pullback on the threes, on the algo bar threes, and then it fires off, right? And then it'll go like another 20 or 30 ticks. So the goal is to survive that first little hesitation or tiny pullback, and then blast through the 20 to 30 tick range of the target.
Gotcha.
And so
I've seen some of them run quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I did some back testing on it this weekend, Jesse, around not kicking that stop in until 40 ticks.
Yeah, I mean, there's different, so it depends on how wide the channels are and how big of a move you're going for sure. So,
yes,
and the other thing I use in confluence with that is how big are the moves right now. So I actually wrote my own little indicator that I put in the market analyzer, and I named it target ticks. And so what it does is it takes the last 4 1-minute candles, averages out the ATR of that, and then divides it by the ticks of whatever instrument whatever instrument it's looking at. So for example, that is showing me right now that my target ticks on NQ is 12. So I don't even trade if it's less than 30, because I'm looking for a minimum of 20 to 26 to 30, right? So if the last 4 minutes average ATR across each of those 1-minute candles is less than 30, I'm not going to trade. So, unless of course we're in the Asian session and looking for a little action, and I'm okay with 10 or 15 ticks here or there.
Right, whatever you're deeming as an acceptable limit, right?
Yep.
So let me ask this then: if let's say you had both channels go green, is there anything that would negate you taking trades if both channels turn green?
Yes. So if we're in the bottom third so here's the thing. So one of the commenters on one of our streams quite a while back, you guys had me on, and I was talking through this setup that I used. And somebody said, yeah, but if you're waiting for both channels to be green, you're missing all of the, I'm drawing a blank, but I'm basically just trading within the established trends. I'm not going to be able to get the absolute tops or bottoms of the big moves, right? The reversals.
Sure. Right.
And that's true. And that's why John was just saying, John mentioned I was working on a kind of a modified setting to my channels to see if I can start getting in a little bit earlier in the reversals. While still the whole point of the double channels like that for me is risk adversement. I want to be as safe as possible and win as many trades as I can. So by doing this right now, I have an 88% win rate. So I'm messing around with the settings on the channels a little bit, but I don't want to see it drop my percentage down too much.
Right.
Now, if it's still 80%, but I'm getting more trades, that might be okay. But anyhow, so because somebody mentioned that in the comments or on the stream or somewhere, I started messing with it, tinkering like Bob does. And so anyway, so back to your question. Yes. So if either one of the channels are flat, that means we're either ranging, and we have been for a long time, or we've just come out of an opposing direction, right? We're just kind of, curling over or turning back in the other direction. And right in those moments is when, for me, for my setups, it's a little risky. So say we're down in the bottom third, but the channels are kind of flattish. That's a risky trade. So what would keep me out of getting in then is if AudioBox is thumping instead of clicking. Right? So then I'm listening for the audio cues in those scenarios.
Speaking of audio, can you guys actually hear AudioBox at all coming through the stream? So for folks, for the 7 folks that actually hear it, can you hear it at all? It just did.
Yeah.
Let me see.
And I just want to make sure that we're getting the audio out of that. I want to make sure we're capturing that audio.
I didn't hear it on our call or on the stream. Oh, I just heard it.
You did? Perfect.
Yep. Hearing it on the stream.
Perfect. Just want to make sure it's coming
loud
through.
thump.
Perfect.
Double delta
Yeah,
NQ on the
AudioBox
6.
will keep me out of. So if I'm looking for a long, but I'm hearing a thump, I'm just gonna sit tight and stay out of that trade until the channels kind of get a little bit more developed into my direction.
Gotcha.
And
So,
you know, there's a lot of times where it'll just take off without me, and I have to be okay with that.
Yep, absolutely. So you brought up the channels being flattish, but they might be in alignment with each other. Is there have you found, without making this sound like keywordish, is there like an angle that you're kind of looking for out of those channels that you find is more beneficial?
No, I'm pretty angle agnostic, if you will. They just both got to be the same color.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So like right now, you guys can't see my charts, but the 9s are red and the 3s are green. So I'm just sitting on hands right now, and I just missed that was a pretty good move off the low there.
Yeah,
Yep,
but there
absolutely.
was, admittedly, there was no, on the 3s, there was nothing to tell you to go, though.
No, there wasn't. Now there was an enigma that led into that, but it failed.
Correct.
And technically, by Vinny, you could probably take it as a second attempt, but
yeah,
if you're coming back up to that level. Now, if the channel on the 9s was green or had turned flat by that point, I probably would have entered on that as we came back up past that enigma level.
But
okay,
it was still red.
It's still red, yeah,
and remains red.
But theoretically, if it had, so that enigma popped up, you had the green channels like you do now on the 3s, and then you got the green channels on the 9s after that enigma failed and was coming back up, you would possibly consider that as
a re-entry,
a potential entry.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, but I mean, right now the channel on the 9s is pretty aggressive down. So
yes.
In my mind, I don't trust this breakout of the channel right now, not yet, anyways. So I'd have to see a pullback to like the 200 EMA on the 3s, and then if we start pushing up again, what you'll see is that the channel on the 9s would start flattening out, and then maybe one more pullback, and then I'm looking for longs, because then the channel on the 9s would start going green.
Gotcha. So far we've talked about all this in a long setting. Would you consider it reversed for a short?
Yeah, so Bobby's just met me. So Bobby, I try not to short the market because I just, for whatever reason, I don't like to bet against America. For whatever reason, I don't like shorting stocks or the market or anything. So I just can't bring myself to. I do every once in a while, especially when I got the stream pressure and I'm on with the guys here. In fact, I got a little excited earlier and I got into an MNQ, a micro short earlier, and I'm still in it. I'm still green by $11, but I probably should have taken my profits when it was up like $60 earlier. But yeah, the exact same thing works in reverse for shorts. It's exact same play, and I think John and Bob have both tested it, and I think it works pretty well.
It does. It does work for shorts. um, the same way. So it's just like anything else, though. You have to know where you're at relative to the price action. You don't want to watch 200 ticks go by and then try to take the short because, well, the knife has already fallen.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's the whole point with the upper and the lower and upper thirds, right? So I don't. That took me a long time to build up that discipline, and I'm still not perfect. I'll find myself all the time with the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and so it'll. I'm talking about along here, right? So I see a good setup and I don't take it for whatever reason, and then we're just audio boxes clicking, clicking, clicking. We're up in that upper third. There's a little bit of a pullback, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going in, and I go in, and then it pulls back down to that lower third, stops me out, and I should have just waited for that better entry.
Gotcha.
So for me, it took a long time to discipline myself and just if I can't get in that lower, let's call it lower half, because I'm not strict to the lower third of the channel, but the lower half of the channel. If I just wait and only get on those, the trades work out better for me as far as win percentage goes, and not having to take as much heat and pull my stops down and start moving the stops and all that kind of stuff.
That makes sense. I like the concept.
It tests down pretty well.
Yeah, now I mean there's a lot of other opportunity left on the table, right? I mean there's a ton of plays, like just in the last since 42, in the last, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes or so. I mean that's a lot of price action, up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I'm sure there are strategies and setups that other people use, and you could have captured some of those moves while I'm just sitting here watching paint dry.
Just for fun. Let's see what the old twos have to say. If there's anything interesting going on over here. See, this would have absolutely killed me normally, won't lie. You had the J hook. I'd have been waiting on a pullback probably, but never got it. But I had a J hook on the twos and the threes in the same direction. I probably would have gotten smashed by that.
My problem is I absolutely hate to lose, and so the one thing that I've not gotten good at is slapping my hand with the revenge trading and the going on tilt, right? So that's why I've developed this whole lower third only. If I stick to that, my losses are smaller and few and far between. If I start going outside my rule set, I lose a lot more often, and then I get pissed off, and then I start slamming the buttons when it's not the right setup, and it's not pretty.
Absolutely.
So this is one thing I have been looking at, Jesse, is stepping down to a lower time frame. So I say time frame, obviously a lower bar size, smaller bar size, to see if I can't find anything more interesting there. But admittedly,
like that, you're right in king timing, right at the bottom of that channel. So if you scroll back over, sorry.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm a little behind.
But at the same time, we're not
In alignment with the
not in alignment with the nines.
Oh yeah. But those crosses right there at the bottom of that channel, if the nines were flat or green, like just turning green off of a flat, that would get me interested, especially with that king timing right there.
Yeah. Yeah, just the crack of that. Now, obviously, it's on the ones, so you have to. You're probably looking at changing target sizes and things of that sort potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But still interesting enough. Ooh, we got 14 folks out there watching us.
I just noticed that too. There's no. Is my chat frozen, or are people just not chatting? Come
I
on,
don't know.
folks.
Maybe we're
Saying
not.
anything.
Maybe we're
Maybe our
not
mics.
inspiring
Maybe our
people.
mics aren't working.
Hello, is anyone out there? There's Mike Schwartz and Ray.
All
Hey
right.
guys, how's it
Howdy,
going?
folks.
I think we've got our audio issues sorted out. Does it sound okay, guys? Guys and gals? Gained weight. There you go. Yo, yo, yo.
Yep.
Test 1, test 2.
Let's go full port. All right.
Full port. Full port for me is 1 contract.
So I'll admit, you can see my default is 2 now, Jesse. I do like the trade.
Yeah.
I do like the trade.
I'm still in like repair mode after that. What was it, last week? Might be the week before now, but I'm still like trying to take it easy, go slow, build back up my accounts.
Absolutely.
So still trying to recover.
Still playing it smart. And I'm still sitting here waiting on a trade again.
That makes me laugh. Full port. Send it. All right, I'm putting on
10x
one micro.
full port.
One micro.
So what's CPI gonna do tomorrow? Are we gonna come
Nothing.
in
I don't think nothing's gonna happen, in my opinion.
pretty flat? Gonna be a big nothing burger?
Yeah, big nothing burger. I think we're stuck. I think the markets went so crazy high on that election that we're kind of stuck here. I don't think anybody wants to pay this much money for a futures contract, but also those that are kind of in these longs, they're not really wanting to sell off and get their profits yet. I don't know. It just feels like it's stuck, and I don't think CPI can give any major action. I think we're kind of stuck in this zone up here for a while.
I don't know, but that 21,000 with 145 contracts that popped on tonight at 9:30 is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, and then you got to wonder, okay, is that a bunch of people's stops and they're long, or is that a bunch of people who want to actually buy into the market there?
And then all these guys down here, these orders have been on here for a while. I mean, a long while. And
yeah.
there's some
Mike
down
Mike says the market's going to go to the right, for sure.
Yeah. That's what Mike always says, because he doesn't want to stick his neck out there and make a call. I say that.
I don't blame him. I mean, remember
to the right since
remember
Thursday.
when I thought, what was it, after the night after the election night, I thought we'd drift down to like the 700 to 800 range and then bounce around in there. I couldn't have done more wrong.
Yeah, it's so tough, right? I mean, it's impossible to look at it. I've seen a couple different ways guys predict CPI. There's one guy on YouTube that loves to he uses the price of oil as his predictor of what CPI will do. So he takes the previous month, and if the price of oil had started the month, whatever it opened up at, to what it closed at. And what's funny is he doesn't use the contract. He actually uses the price on the 1st and the 30th, or the 31st, depending upon the month. And if it is higher, he expects CPI to be slightly higher. If it's lower, then he expects CPI to come in slightly lower. It's an interesting way of looking at it, and it's just because oil goes into, although they exclude it, it's not necessarily included in those prices. It definitely pricing is a byproduct of that, right? Whether it's trucking product, whatever it may be.
That's interesting.
Austin, what's
hey,
up?
Austin, what's up, bud?
This is stream number 2 of the evening, buddy. We had to kick Bob out. Apparently he needed his beauty sleep.
Replace him with a better, younger version.
Yeah, we replaced him with a better, younger Bob.
Bobby Jr.
Yeah. Actually, I think you're the third, right?
Technically the third.
He's on house arrest. Yeah. So the rumor has been that he was in the federal witness protection program for a few days, which is why we didn't stream yesterday. But apparently, he's not going to be called as part of the Diddy trial, so they let him out.
I don't know about the other 22 people watching, but I sure missed these guys over the weekend, and we didn't get to do our market replay. It didn't stream yesterday, and then Mike was not streaming yesterday. I was kind of lost.
Dude, I will not lie. Last night, Bob's phone probably blew up because I was dying to just hop on here. I don't know what it is, but needed another. I don't know. I needed another dose of streaming. It's become fun.
Yeah, I think we've just topped the viewers, right? Have you guys ever had 22 viewers before? I think the max was like 17.
I think we've been up to 20 before, 20, 21.
Oh.
Look at us go. The question is, and the more important question is, how many people are actually smashing that like button?
Yeah.
Hey, look, Nightbot even kicked in. I'm surprised that works. God forbid it gets out of hand. We'll have to bring Mr. Schwartz out of his evening retirement so that way he can help us fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta set it up to where you guys can just capture your sources and send it to using something like this. Send it to one guy who's
That's what
maintaining the stream.
Yeah, so that's why I've got. So your dad needs NDI. If he can, I have NDI working, so I'm actually pulling it off of a network. This is actually not streaming off of my trading station directly, so I don't have OBS on my trading station. It's streaming into a MacBook. MacBook is actually pushing it out to the web.
Yep.
Okay, everybody in the chat, John, Bobby, somebody help me out here. So I've got this MNQ trade on. It's been on for hours.
All right.
It's a short. I thought we would potentially maybe kind of drift down through the Asian session down to the low of the day. Actually, I was targeting the low of that big 30-minute candle, that green candle.
Yep.
Potentially, maybe even the low of the regular trading session today.
Okay.
But now we're drifting back up. Now, the channel on the 9th is still a strong red. But I'm in the green $11 on this micro. Should I kill it, or do you think maybe we might head back down here? It looks like we're starting to turn around and head upwards.
Personally, I think it's a micro.
I was gonna say, how risky are you feeling tonight? Because I can give you advice, but I can't guarantee anything.
Yeah, no advice on the stream. But it's just a micro. Yeah, that's true. It's just a micro. But
It's
are
a
we gonna
micro,
go? I
and
guess
what's
the
your-
question is, we heading north or are we heading south? Come on, guys.
I do, if you look at my sixes. So the way I have my charts organized here, slightly different than Bob, right? I have more of the traditional AlgoBox setup. So I have, interestingly enough, we might actually break the stop on this, on the tide. So we had a 2-finger salute short on that. We haven't quite hit the stop of it yet, but it does exist. Let's see if we can drill in a little bit closer. I mean, that 89 bar is pointed back up. But to my originally, so I've got Tide, Wave, MACV. I have the 6s, and then I have the 3s. On the 6s, we are starting to get ready ups, which that's the first one. I'd like to see a couple more. That might indicate
That could be
that
starting the rollover back down south.
back down
right?
south is kind of what that may be indicating, right? But obviously more than one. One by itself is not going to indicate that.
Now you have that J hook on the sixes where looks like only target one's been hit.
We've only hit target one on that so far. So you've still got plenty of room short. And you know me, I'm always biased short.
The opposite of me.
Good balance then.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at on a tick chart.
Mike says both. We're heading north and south. He's right.
Well, which one comes first, Mike?
Yeah, which one comes first, Mike? Let's hit my target before yours, please.
So Mike is probably, I'm guessing, if he's targeting anything, he would be targeting value area low on the day. So I'll roll this chart over here so that way everybody can actually see it. And expand her out.
Mike's flat, he says, but if he was trading, you're right, he'd be going after these volume profiles. So let's have a look.
Let's take a quick gander. So value area low for the day of yesterday. Did we already take it out tonight? Is the question. What's the high of the evening here? Where did we start? Just curious. Where do we open up at? What is opening
We opened
price?
up at
We already took out value area
21,178.
low. So, at this point, since we've already taken out value area low, your bias should be looking short, and AlgoBox is telling you that. Unless we get a strong reversal signal back up off the bottom.
Where's that naked POC? It's above us.
The naked POC is above us, but while you're short of the value area low, I should be looking at targets below us. The reality is I think tonight we end up with this nice little D-shaped profile down here, and we wait until the morning to figure out where we're going. But I don't think it's a bad look. Just keep a good stop on it, right? I don't know what your entry price is, but
Entry price was, I can't see it because the price flag is right on it. Let's see.
If you're up $11, probably more than that since we've had this conversation, we should probably just keep talking. We keep talking the market down.
Yeah. So it's up $20 right now. My entry price is 161, right at the top of that. Well, if you look at a 30-minute candle, I got in right at the top of that, the big red candle.
Okay.
I've been in this thing for a long time.
So I don't think anybody would argue with you if you bailed on the trade. You're up $20 on a single micro.
Yeah, and that would put me up. That would put me up $150 for the Asian session across 20 accounts.
So bag it and get out of there. Or we can take a quick look at Bookmap and just see if there's anything interesting. Below us
let's
or
have a
above
look
us.
at that. This is what's cool about having friends, because I don't have volume profile and I don't have Bookmap. So you guys are rock stars.
Enigma long on the NQ3.
Oh. Enigma long. I probably should bail.
I don't think anybody would be against you if you did.
Let's see. Where's our resting orders on Bookmap?
140, 145, 147.50. And we've already kind of been down.
Yeah, we've already been at
little
those
bit.
levels. So, is there anything at the low of the day?
Low of the day was what?
132.
I think we've already, 132. There's nothing there really. There's 37 orders at 130. And
Okay, what about the low of yesterday, which would be?
That would be down here. Let's just look at
21,053.
So you've got
Ish.
some orders down in that range. 30, 17, 29. The interesting thing is you have 100 orders down here at 21, 22.50-ish. 21.20. That's another interesting. I mean, so below low of day, you've got some significant orders down here. And they've been out here for quite some time.
Mike, I'm short 1 micro NQ from 161. And I've been in that short since the open at somewhere right around 6:30 p.m. or something like that.
So this gives you the last hour, last hour basically in a smaller view to kind of give you where the orders have been.
What's that chart? What's the graph on the bottom? Is that the delta?
That's the volume. Yep.
No, down below that
This
red
down here
line.
is the CVD. Yeah, it's continuous volume delta down here.
Gotcha.
So you've had more sell pressure than anything, but it's not dramatic. I mean, you're talking the difference between here and here is like 300. So fairly balanced still. It skews it. I'm not a big fan. I will not lie. I'm not the biggest fan of the CVD on Bookmap. It's there. I just never taken it off. But so you've got some information. I don't know if that helps at all with
For
your
sure.
trade, but at least you have some.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So again, no trading advice being given on this channel. We are simply showing you how we trade with the tools that we have. And by we, right now it's just me.
It's tradertainment, folks. Tradertainment.
Yes, exactly. Max Long says Tarantino. No stop
I love
loss.
that name. Love that name.
No stop loss. He says just pull the stops full port short or long,
Send it.
excuse me.
Send it.
I mean,
That
I'm
sounds like a
actually
recipe.
proud of you. You took a short.
Yeah. I was when the market reopened after the hour break there, it just started thumping. AudioBox was going nuts. I said, you know what? Let's just go. I'll put 1 micro on and see what happens.
Dude, you're going to have to enter a 12-step program before the morning.
12 step. What the first step is, I got to admit I've got a problem, right?
You FOMO'd into a short. I mean, I can see you like going into a long, but really, actually, it's a great entry price.
I didn't even follow the rules. I just boom hit the sell market on my micro chart.
Did you follow Mike's flip a coin strategy? I'll admit, one night we're going to have to get him on to talk through that. When we do our next market replay challenge segment, I gave the whole flip a coin thing a shot this weekend, and maybe I don't quite fully understand it. And I also did the enter the market and you only have the reverse button. Yeah, that ended very poorly in market replay. Just saying.
I've tried that before too, when we were just range bound and the channels were flat, just reversing at the tops and the bottoms.
Mike says it's hard. Hard does not even closely resemble what my P&L would say. My P&L would say that I would be broke in minutes.
Yeah, it's not easy. The flip a coin thing's easier because look, I mean, most people, I mean, depending on your risk to reward, right? Most people can get by with like a 60% win rate.
Yeah.
But if you flip a coin and go long or short, it's 50-50 going to be right. So it's not far off from a 60% win rate. You just got to, especially if your stop is wide enough.
Right.
I don't think I've seen the flip a coin.
I don't know. Me neither. I just assumed it's flip a coin, heads go long.
So you're saying I
tails
should
go
use that stop and that profit right there, big bang? 1,000 tick stop. Perfect. We'll just do that next time.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah. Jessica?
So right now, my target ticks indicator that I wrote myself says that the target ticks on NQ is 7, ES is 2, RTY is 3 ticks, and YM is 4 ticks. So
So you're saying I
telling-
should take 10 contracts on the ES and collect a couple ticks.
it's telling me just don't trade right now. This is crazy.
Yeah,
No,
so
I think I read the same way John did.
Even in AlgoBox, so we've got a similar indicator over here. I think it's somewhat maybe skewed or hidden from my charts potentially.
I think it's up there on your tide.
Yeah, I'll move it
when you
over
wrote-
here a little bit. There we go. Since the top of my charts look like they're kind of cut off, I'll have to fix that here.
Yeah, it's very similar to that, but I wanted to write it into an indicator that I can put in the market analyzer window. So I have a column that I named target ticks, and it displays a value very similar to the AlgoBox value right there.
Gotcha. I don't know why when I go into... There we go. When I go into theater mode, I can actually see it. Never mind. I will stop complaining about myself. Forgive me, I got this OBS set up today. So...
Well, you're doing great. Sounds good. Everything looks good to me.
And all that for... Oh, wow. Big harmonic popped up with a dot. We should just go ahead and FOMO into it.
What chart are you looking at?
The threes. I literally think here in another couple of minutes, if this doesn't actually speed up, this doesn't actually speed up, I'm going to move down to the ones just for some fun. Just to see. Because we did that the other night and actually ended up with a couple decent setups. We did that the other night. We also have tested this resistance bar a couple times up here, Jesse. Now that I'm looking at it, came up 1, 2, third time, pushed back down. Does that get us back into the range?
I've got mine tinkered with. I gotta hold on. Let me go into that actually, and I was running mine off of the data, the nines data series, and I messed with it. So let me actually. This is what's funny. We typically mess with things, tinker around, and then end up going back to Vinny's settings because they work better.
I'll admit I have Vinny's settings. I haven't changed mine.
Yeah. Let me do that. Let me see.
John, you talking about that red bar there, right around the target 2 for the J hook?
Yep. This bar right.
Yep.
Let me. Admittedly, I do not know my.
Yeah. What are the settings so I can put mine back?
Okay. Let me.
If you don't mind.
Oh, that's fine.
Actually, let me load. I think there might be
Indicators. Support and resistance zones.
Yeah.
So I have 3 levels.
Yeah.
Max look back at 200.
Yeah.
Swing pivot strength of 20. Pivot
20.
tick.
Okay, mine.
Yep. Pivot tick proximity of 10.
Okay.
And the zone draw size of 2.
Okay, so I wasn't far off. Well, actually, I wasn't off at all. All I did was change it to the 9. Okay. Switch it back to the 3s. Okay, now I'm seeing what you're talking about there.
So we've actually gone up and tested that level a couple times. And that level is consistent as well on the 6s.
And that level is a target 2 of a J hook on the 3s on my chart, anyways.
Correct. But that J hook busted.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, that J hook busted.
I didn't see that because on my issue, for some reason, and it's probably something I did. I'm an idiot, but my J hook lines and targets draw off they extend left instead of extending right. So I got to keep scrolling over to see where the lines and targets are.
Yeah, so it came down back at 21.32.42. 32.42, somewhere in there. And busted that J hook. Speaking of, this is completely off topic there, but anybody seen Captain Price of late? Is he do we need to put out like his,
an APB?
an APB, or put his, face on a milk carton somewhere?
Where's Dr. M? Well, see, this is the problem when you've got a stream going and you're building momentum and then you're not around for a few days. Unfortunately, I think things fall off a bit. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I know.
It does. It really plays to that consistency.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But, sometimes, well, now you guys have got it set up to where you can say, for example, Bob's not around, he's out on the road, or he has a family emergency or whatever.
Correct.
Now you can fire up the stream and vice versa. So I think you're set up for success now moving forward.
Yes, we are now. Crisis averted at this point.
Yeah. Sounds good too. So I think if you take remote control of Bob's computer and get him set up just how you've set this up on yours, we'll be golden, huh?
I think what I'll do is just start the stream myself, and then I can control it off on my Mac, and life will be good.
Yeah, how are you going to share Bob's screen or my screen? How does that work?
So we need to get NDI tools loaded on your trading machine.
Mm.
And then I can do... Well, actually, you can stream through Video Ninja as well. So you can actually share your screen through that as well.
There's a couple of ways.
Gotcha. So I clicked your link on my phone just so I could talk through my earpods. But you're saying if I click that link on my computer, I can share my screen just like WebEx or anything else.
Yep.
And then on your end, you can actually load that up and show it.
Correct.
Yep.
Oh.
And then all the streaming can be done on its own.
I wonder
machine.
if can we try that right now? Are you set up to try it or no?
I'd have to just create a scene for it real quick, but yeah, we can do that.
No, don't worry about it. We could do it another time.
No, it takes... I've got one going. Let me...
All right, let me hide some account numbers.
Yeah, it's gonna give me a minute real quick, so I can remove that guy, and then I'm going to copy this.
You could just be able to duplicate your scene and then remove your
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
Yep, just change to this source.
Yeah, I just have to put his chart layout. As my Indio source, or my NDI source, can be removed. But yeah, we can
So
use.
this runs in the browser.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice
So if
little.
I minimize my browser, will it still keep going?
Good. I see
Yeah.
no reason it wouldn't.
Yeah, you're just gonna share your. Oh boy. Edit, undo. How do I do that? Edit, undo.
Okay, I think I got it done. Let's see if you can share. Let's see what happens.
Say I'm seeing the screen in the Video Ninja. So the question is, do you then just have to?
Yeah, I have to figure out where this source is at. That's not it.
That'd be pretty cool if the video, what is it called? Video?
Yeah, Video Ninja.
Yep.
That'd be pretty cool if it let me like draw a box around just the area I wanted to share instead of, picking one window or the whole screen.
Yes, it would.
That's what OBS does, right? It lets you kind of draw a box and then whatever you drag in there or whatever you put in that box is what's on the stream.
Kinda. It's pretty close.
There's ways to show like certain portions.
Gotcha.
I have to. Let me see if I can grab the other. How do I grab that? I have to figure out how to grab that. Link. Let's see if this actually does it. So, let me get back over here. Sorry, folks. Let me push this. I'm going to push this back up out of the way. And then I'm going to create another source. Add browser. Video remote user share. And then 1920 by what?
1080 first. If you're using standard, is it a 16 by 9? Or is it an ultra wide?
Mine's 16 by 9.
So yeah, 1920 by 1080.
It might be fuzzy though, because I'm actually using 4K, but it's like magnified to 150% or something like that.
What's interesting is I'm not seeing that. Actually, I am seeing it. Sweet. It just
Come on,
came
drop,
through.
baby, drop.
Give me just a sec.
Sorry if anybody's long.
No. Nobody is long. Let's see. Preview. try to drop that in.
Let's go. It's dropping.
We're gonna give that a We should be broadcasting your stuff, sir.
Yeah, I see it on the screen. That looks great. Well, let me see. Let me zoom in here. I mean, it's fuzzy, but that's not bad. That's better than what we were WebEx.
And that's due to my stream quality is not set up exactly right. So, I have a setting I didn't set prior to going live. So,
Gotcha. Let me see what I've got what my YouTube is at. Quality. Let me go higher picture quality. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I mean, it's not real readable, but it's all right. It looks okay. It's better than the WebEx.
yeah, is it? I can't see it, and I'm trying to get back to the stream. That's the only bad thing about the way I'm actually trying to manage this tonight.
You can see the basics, but
Yeah.
the text is a little artifacty.
Text is not exactly great.
No.
And that's due to the way that you're connected into that. I should have sent you a different link. That would push your bitrate quality way up.
Mm.
Yeah,
You
because
wanna
right
do-
now on the
You want to do that? I'm willing to test it.
Yeah, let me
Switch
pop
back
over to my
yours
little
and
buddy here. Give me just a second. Let me switch it back. OBS. And should be back to my charts now.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Let me get a better...
Let's go. Drop.
Keep going.
Drop out of there.
That is already up at the bottom of a green channel. Yeah. Can't take it yet. Can't do anything with that though, because I'm
Mine's
red.
a red still.
Yeah, the 9s are red. So glad we didn't bag your trade.
Yeah.
Video Ninja's advanced settings.
So your target value says 19 ticks, and mine says 9. Yeah, Vinny must be averaging out a little differently than I'm doing. Okay, so now there's 2 ready ups. On my charts, anyways.
On the 3s?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2. I've got 1.
Yeah, mine had a ready up right on that, or a double delta right on that Enigma. So it was a super Enigma, but it was right in the middle of that channel. So
He's calling that a supermoon, right? That's what that's being called?
I don't know. I think the super moon, wouldn't a super moon be if it's I don't know. I forgot. I know there's the Super AO, and then there's the Moonshot, which is an AO with the Enigma. I thought it was a Super Enigma, but I could be wrong.
So I will say this: I'm looking at it, and what you're sending me now is perfect because it's coming to me dead clear. So it's something in the translation OBS. So let me the video settings you're sending me right now are dead clear. So if I can figure out a way to let me see if this will do better. Let me edit this. How can I capture that differently?
There's got to be a way to capture the raw stream from me rather than screen capturing that how it's displayed on your screen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I can click on your stream and the stream to me is dead nuts perfect.
Yeah, I was looking at it on my phone too, where I'm joined in the meeting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it looks good, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely crystal clear. So it's something.
Come on, keep going. Let's go.
Broke the channel short. I'll take this channel and the three's turning around.
Oh, Mark in the chat says the Enigma plus an AO plus the double delta is the supermoon. Okay.
Okay.
So Mark,
I stand corrected.
Yeah, what's the Enigma with a double delta? Is that a super Enigma? Is there a name for that? One of my AirPods died too, so I wonder if my mic is even working.
It is. It's good. I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, you're crystal clear.
I'm still hearing those. Oh, there we go. Come on, drop out of here. Yeah, Mark says that they're not official names, but chat coming up with ideas. Yeah, I hear you.
And I'm still figuring out the rendering stuff over here.
Yeah, no problem. It's a testing tune.
It's something to do with the way it's being rendered.
Come on, drop down here to the low. Let's go make a new low.
Well, I will say, I'm just going to throw this over here just for giggles. That tells me it wants to go down there. There's liquidity below us to go get. And if you look down, it lines up the liquidity. Definitely lines up with our targets on the J-hook short.
There we go. Let's go, baby. Drop. Uh-oh. There's another delta.
Yeah, but it's not going to act like a double cross and send it short shooting down. I like the acting like a double cross and shooting us down. I like it enough. I'll just
Order
go ahead
submitted.
and FOMO into it.
Well, if it's hitting people's stops, if those orders on Bookmap are stops and not real buys, like active buyers, then it should keep going down. Oh,
Nothing like a good FOMO trade. Are we going to get 26 ticks out of that? We'll just go ahead and... I hate moving my stop, but I'm going to. I'll just move it up there. It's going down. If not, I'll take the loss.
hopefully that's just a minor pullback.
That's what we're going to count on.
Oh, boy.
Just going to be a minor pullback to my stop. I like the low of the day. Come on. All right.
Mark says no regrets.
No regrets. The only thing I don't like is that big delta push short on the sixes.
Yeah, and if you look at those two deltas on the threes, that second push
it's
down
declining
was
delta. Yep, I'm the reason for that pullback. Plus, it was extended. Probably get a pull, one more push down, maybe.
So I was dealing with my AirPods and I missed your trade. So you went short. Did you get anything out of that?
No, I pulled my stop back. I'm just going to let it go.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. I see it now.
As I'm sitting here trying to figure out why. Because what you're sending me is good. So now I've just got to figure out why OBS.
Yeah, I don't know anything about OBS, but I would assume there's a way to capture that feed without like using an actual like a screen capture. Like to pull the raw data feed instead of like capturing that area of a screen.
Yeah, I'm not capturing I'm just dropping the browser in.
Yeah, see that's because it's browser based, that's the issue.
Yeah.
There's got to be a technology that exists that lets us all join and then it powers the stream from there. It's all cloud based and
there is. So Gardy actually brought it up. There's a couple. Admittedly, we're trying to get away with the freeware versions of this stuff, and we're gonna have to
Gotcha.
I mean, OBS is a pretty broadly used product, right? But so output scaled resolution. Let's see. Go to settings, video. Adjust the downscale filter. Check encoder. Okay, so it has something to do with base canvas resolution. Or, all right.
It's trying to go back down.
I like it pushing the lows here. I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it drops out of there because so I'm up $45 on that micro right now.
And the only reason why I really like it is because of this. Because of Bookmap. I wouldn't have taken that trade without Bookmap. Now, I'm not saying that it works because of that, because that was a terrible entry. That's a terrible trade, mechanically. But
Well, you did say you were FOMOing into it.
I absolutely did. Like a monkey. This should be... You're going to get one tick beyond this. Another
Angie in the chat says, this is too much going on. Angie, you talking about us fumbling around with OBS and streaming settings, or are you talking about the charts?
Too much on the charts, probably.
Probably so. Yeah, this is AlgoBox. It does have a lot going on, but once you know what everything means, it's pretty easy to use. There's a learning curve, but it's very, very powerful.
So basically the way I'm viewing that is as basically a double cross, double move type scenario.
Yeah, it could be. And on my threes chart, I've got 3 of them on each one of these legs down. So
do you? That doesn't make me very comfortable on that third leg down, I won't lie.
That's true. Although it could be a 4-legged dog trap, and we haven't got the 4th leg yet. Oh, there's another double delta.
Yeah.
This could turn around on me.
Yeah, I'm going to... Better part of valor is knowing when you're wrong, right?
Well, the channel on the 9s is still pretty aggressively down.
It is, but we also just had a Bollinger Band touch over there.
Yeah. Yep.
We'll leave it just due to the...
Mike just mentioned the naked POC again. He's dropping hints.
I do agree, Mike. I don't disagree with you. You do have a naked POC above you. Like I said, that third double delta down there does have me somewhat concerned.
Yeah, if this were the New York session, I'd be looking for a turnaround.
Standing on a long.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wouldn't because the 9s are still red, but
right.
I'd be looking for one for sure. But this time of night, you know, anything goes, really.
I'll watch and see what it does at the 50. If it breaks the 50, I'll get out of the way. Of course, that's probably where it turns around, but we'll see.
That's how it always goes, right?
There are buyers stepping in according to this. You can see the bubbles.
Well, I just saw, so I'm watching. Remember, I have the time and sales trend on my market analyzer, and I just saw a pink, which to me shows that a seller jumped the bid. So, and there's a buyer that jumped the ask. So it's kind of back and forth.
Settings video.
Sounds like it's starting to get exciting. I'm gonna have to jump for the night.
All right, buddy. Good to see you.
Yep, I'll be back.
Thanks, Bobby.
Especially, yeah. I'm hoping I can join you guys more often in the future once we finish closing on the house. So
That'll be fun, man. Thank you.
Good luck, buddy. Take care.
thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Take care. We will keep going now. We are not. No quitters here. You'll either see me exit this trade.
There's the 50. It's touching it. What's it gonna do?
It's gonna crack it. What does it do with the 200? That's where this liquidity is at. All right, let's see what she does. Come on. I hate this. Did we break that by more than a tick down here? I'm looking on the 1,000 tick chart. I'm looking to see.
We just had a pretty massive seller on the ES.
Yeah, what does the ES look like? That's an interesting point.
I shouldn't say massive, but there was a big on the time and sales trend. There was a big pink section on the ES,
which probably represents.
I'm seeing red on the tape, more red than green on the tape on NQ now. So it might reject right there off that 50.
That's what we're kind of hoping for.
Did you kill your trade?
I did not. I'm holding it. I looked to see if we had broken the bottom of the previous green candle on the 1,000 tick chart, and we did not. But this would recognize this as potentially. Okay, we're coming back in the right direction now. Although Market Pulse still shows buyers over here. This is a mix of NQ and ES, just for the record, so everybody knows. This is a equal weight mix of those two instruments.
Hey, look who's in the chat with my boys all day. I remember this guy from a few days ago. He calls NQ every morning. Been doing it for 2 years. I wish I had your bank account.
Yeah. Liquidity seems to be. We're going to go up and test the 200. I mean, I like this patch liquidity below us still.
Yeah, now remember the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the election, like NQ changed its behavior slightly, and it was shying away from or rejecting away from liquidity or resting orders instead of running to them.
Yeah, it likes to run into the fire typically, and of late it was not.
Yeah, now it seems to be, instead of the highs and the lows being magnets, now it kind of gets close and then shies away.
Yep.
So, and I anticipate it's going to be like that until we get out of this upper consolidation zone that we got, these high prices we've got after the election.
Yeah. Don't disagree with you.
It's going to be jittery and back and forth and rangy. until something big either makes the market drop or pushes us up to that next level.
So what we just bounced off of the Bollinger Bands on the 9s. You do have a harmonic pattern that's developing on the 43s below us. Potentially. It's a potential harmonic pattern. Just gotta know the news. That's great.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta have the inside scoop like Pelosi.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your trick. With my boys all day, he happens to know Pelosi or Pelosi's brother or
Exactly.
son or so he's in the family.
Must be. Apparently, the day trading nomads don't qualify for that news feed.
Me neither. I don't get the magic text messages every other week.
He must be Mike Schwartz's news source.
With my boys all day mentioned the red folder days. I'm assuming you mean like on Financial Juice where it's got a red, or on the, what's the other one you guys people use, the news sources? Forex Factory.
With my boys all day, not. I don't need the proof, buddy. Good for you if you can call it.
Yeah. No, we don't need proof.
Yeah.
Preach it, brother. Forex Factory. Yeah. So I thought
everybody's got that. Yeah.
He was referring to the red news events. He stays away from them. Probably pretty smart not to try to call what the market's going to do on a day with the red folder.
So you don't want to make any predictions around CPI tomorrow?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
I don't trade news. I sit out before and after, and I wait for a trend to get established, and then I'll jump all over it.
Or if you do, wait until 1:30. So we did get this 11-2 up here on the higher time frame.
Where'd you get the? Oh, on the 6s.
On the 6s, it came after that delta push down. Let's see if I've been thinking
about bringing my 6s back. Oh, by the way, would you mind moving your book map so I can look at your 3s? Because I haven't been seeing any AOs on my 3s.
I didn't see many today.
Okay. You do have a couple there. Oh no, those are regular crosses.
Those are regular crosses, not AOs. AO
right.
wise, and I'm pretty sure data series.
Connection lost.
That's never a good sound.
Yeah, I heard that. Mine did that to me last night, somewhere right around this time too. I think maybe Tradeovate or maybe there's some maintenance going on.
It was my Tradeovate connection that did that, and those accounts dropped. Yes. Let me.
So I'm on 1 days of data.
Me too.
Yeah. Not many AOs. I had some AOs on the 44 range. Oh, we're supposed to change to would it go up by 145s, I think?
I've got it at 43.
Okay.
All right. And something changed in my book map. Let's see. I am not very happy. I don't know what I've done on Bookmap, but that data swap killed me. All right, come on.
Did you get connected back up?
Yeah, I'm connected.
Oh, you didn't kill that trade.
No, I did not. It did not either. I'm watching it on both a tick chart as well as a...
I'm definitely seeing more red on the tape than green, so...
And I'm still hearing buyers, though. Yep.
That means it's going up on low volumes, which is not a good sign. Usually that
No.
means it'll keep creeping up on you.
Nope, not happy about it. I'm not gonna lie.
You're in a micro though, right?
Correct. I'm cross trading that.
Yeah, using Replicanto.
Yep.
I have one micro on. But again, I've been in this since. Well, actually, let me turn on my trades and see what time. Oh, does it have a timestamp? I can't remember.
And we just popped an AO on the 9s, a 12.4. So I'll wait until the resolution of that. So stop will go slightly above that.
Yeah, this doesn't have timestamps. Darn.
Got another ready up.
Huh.
This looks like it'll get away from me.
Yeah, but that delta, look at the delta down at the bottom. It's lower than the previous push.
Yes, it is.
So that's a good sign.
We are getting back to that Enigma price point, though.
I thought Mike fell asleep on us, but there he goes dropping that hint again.
Naked POC. I agree, Mike. I agree. You can hold it until the naked POC tomorrow, which the naked POC, for those interested, for the day, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've got it at 211.85.25. All right, perfect. We are confirmed with Mr. Schwartz. We have the same price. So at least my data feed is consistent with his. I won't lie, that 12.4 does give me a little bit of hope. The higher time frame.
How many days do you have loaded on your 9s?
3, I think.
And is your primary connection Tradevate right now or Rhythmic?
It's rhythmic based. I don't have any Tradevate connection right now. I've got to get logged back into it. There we go. It's logged back in.
Yeah, I didn't get that AO. That's why I was asking.
And by the way, you were asking me to back test or to look at my data because I was getting so many AOs last week. I did go back, delete all my data. I ran it in Market Replay. Got the same stuff.
Yeah, it was just, and it was mainly on the 44 range, right? Like tons of them.
Tons of AOs there, yeah, tons.
Mm-hmm.
So where did price get to? Did it break back below? We got to 43.25. All right, I'm hearing sellers again. I'm seeing sellers. Let's go. Get south.
Time and sales trending red.
Yeah, everything is telling me red right now. Let's go. Come on.
My micro trade is up $34.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to hang on to it until you decide to kill the stream for the night, and then I'll get out of it.
Perfect.
I've left a micro on 2 times overnight and slept through it. Once it was a big winner, $389 off of one contract.
Nice.
I think I've told this story before on this stream. The very next night, I was like, dang, that was easy. I'm going to do that again. And lost $389.
Johnny C, what's up, man? That's it's Mulligan's charts. That's my charts.
Johnny's in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropping knowledge with my boys all day. Your screen name reminds me of the Joe Rogan podcast. How his intro always says, I can't remember what it says, but something about all day, all night, all day. I love it. Ryan McGee, what's up, bud?
Yeah. So with my boys all day, just making sure you're not an AlgoBox user, correct?
No, it sounds like he's going for real big moves. We're scalping the market here.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's important to know this, overall direction, but price action shows us that.
Correct. But for the last 4 hours, price action has trended down.
That's right. But like him and Mike both keep saying, look at that key level.
I don't disagree with you.
On 21,185.
21,185, 25, exactly. That is the point of control for yesterday. I don't disagree. My only challenge with that in taking that long is the fact that we already went through value area low. And yeah, if that's the case, what I typically like to do is very much like you. The other thing that I would note is you had your 2-finger salute over here on the higher time frame chart, which actually looks to be playing out right now. We did not break the back of the stop. But in those cases where we broke value area low, I think Mike would agree, when you're below value area low, without a firm reversal signal, you are looking short still. And I do have the short signal on the mid time frame chart there in the AlgoBox 6s. Is it perfect?
Yeah.
Is my entry perfect? Hell no, it is not. My entry ideally should have been up around that 280 level. This trade did set up, admittedly. It didn't set up until we were at 2154 or 2157.25. That was when this trade set up. We still have not gotten a pullback into the ideal entry zone. Do not disagree.
On my 30-minute chart, if I zoom out and just look at the past few days, we're obviously flagging up here at these highs, real high, right?
Yeah.
Pre-election, like we're sky high.
Yep.
However, we're making lower highs and lower lows overall on the 30-minute chart. So things seem to be looking like they're starting to trend down. So if I were to draw out a channel or a channel regulator on the 30-minute chart, it would be red.
So the only things that I look at, or the things that I'm looking at here on these charts, are these nice little thin structures that sit below us, where you have nothing but single prints below. And then you have nothing but single prints here. And then you have nothing but, now I'm not saying we're going to get any of this stuff today, tomorrow. But I do believe over time, some of this will be repaired. Obviously, some of this is going to take longer to get to. But market structure does tend to repair itself over time. But you do have a good number of areas inside the charts from the last week that you have just areas of very minimal volume and very thinly traded, that I would venture to guess at some point we go back and repair. When?
Yeah,
Who knows?
and if you think back to October 30th and the following days when the market dropped out from underneath us, my opinion was when we dropped down to the 20,000 through 20,100 levels, I was saying that we were artificially low, the market was underpriced, we're going to see a lift. And then comes the election, we got that lift, and obviously way more. And so now I'm prepared to say that we're artificially high. So that a lot of that was election driven, and it was on low volume. So just like you just pointed out, we've got a lot of areas in there where we're probably going to have to go back and kind of fill those low volume areas in.
Yeah. Now, when that happens, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Could take a week, could take months. And the other thing is, with this new presidency and the appointments Trump is making, I mean, we could never see those levels again. Who knows if he's really capable of turning the economy around and bringing manufacturing back, and we start seeing some major changes right off the get-go in January. We might be just looking at history here. But for now, over the next coming couple of weeks, I think we're artificially high. The election was good news to a lot of people obviously in the financial realm, but I think we overshot the fair value of the market. And my opinion is still 20,700 to 20,800 is what I think a fair value of the NASDAQ is. So I still think we drift down to that area and hover around there for some time. Just what's going to be the catalyst to give us that push down?
Yep.
If anything, might be nothing.
Yeah, if you were bullish before Trump was elected, then you're probably still bullish. If you were bearish before, you're probably still bearish. And I think we can all agree, Trump, whether you like him or not, he doesn't have a magic wand. So if you believe that it was a bearish market, there was shouldn't say a bearish market, but we were due for some sort of correction, I doubt your thesis has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because the man still doesn't have a magic wand.
Yeah, exactly. And now in your mind, if you were bearish right now, you're chomping at the bit, you're licking your lips, you're thinking, wow, now we're really oversold.
Yeah, I mean, it was evidenced in Mike's stream today as I was pointing out the holes in the case with NVIDIA, right? That I see. It reminds me of some of the other technology companies that we all know and love. Hell, I sell every day from years past, from the .com bubble, Cisco being the prime example of it. How did they get in trouble? They funded their customers with their own capital, and they had a couple large accounts that ended up defaulting in the .com bubble, and their stock is still yet to recapture their astronomical prices back then.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go Google it yourself, but SMCI is the third largest customer of NVIDIA. And they primarily use NVIDIA capital for their purchases. My understanding, at least, based on what I've read. How factual that is, who knows? But you can go read the Wall Street Journal yourself.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to speak on that topic, but I assume what you're saying is, I think what you're talking about is like, say, for example, you go buy a new car or a new truck.
Yep.
You can finance that through your credit union or through Bank of America, or most manufacturers will do the financing in-house, right? So they're loaning you their own capital.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, and those large technology companies, they have a bunch of cash on hand, right? So one of the ways they employ their cash is to assist their buyers with financing, financing arms, and they use their capital to help their customers purchase their technology.
Johnny says, "You guys ever play Mahjong? I don't know how to pronounce that."
I do not. I've seen it. Never really played it. But you're right.
Yeah,
I would imagine it would help with pattern recognition. Seller's still on the tape, at least for a second. Let's see what happens here. Still waiting on the push. I'd like to see one flush down real fast. Little bubbles. Come on. Where's Mike Schwartz when you need him?
All right, so my micro short is up $43.
You're right back where we started.
Yeah, still waiting to flush the lows here.
That's what I'm waiting on, is a flush of the lows. It's maddening. All you really had was, you've got, you know, an accumulation zone that's built here, right? You had a false breakout of it and a pullback. That's all that's really happened. I mean, you can look at it a little bit easier on the higher time frame. The only thing I should have done is, as it pulled back up to the middle of the channel, is doubled down on that short just to give me a better position.
We've tested these lows a few times here, so it's time to break through and give me.
It's either time to break through or get out, but Bookmap says it's time to break through. So Bookmap, be right. We are at king timing though, so it does have me slightly concerned. I would like a continuation sign here, something that tells me we're going short.
With my boys all day, I don't look at a 5-minute chart.
Don't use anything time-based at all.
Yeah, we use custom algo bars. They're similar to Renko bars. We refer to the higher time frames like 30-minute dailies, 1 hour, 4 hour, stuff like that for reference points and volume profiles and stuff like that. But we don't trade off of 1 minute or 5-minute candles.
No, yeah, this is all take time out of the equation, and there's still room on the Bollinger Band South. There again, we're using more real-time order flow tools, and that's what this represented, was an imbalance in the market, effectively, between buyers and sellers. And we use harmonic patterns, things of that sort. So I do have that 30-minute candle over there. It doesn't do anything to me in the Asian market. That volume profile chart I threw over here just moments ago that's 30-minute candle based. But it doesn't really influence my I wouldn't say necessarily inefficiencies per se. It's just in this case, it's all order flow based. Effectively, that's what 90% of the tools are looking at. So all the white crosses are imbalances in buyers and sellers in the market. It's very similar to what the alpha omegas represent. And then that's also what you see, obviously, in the delta indicators, which would represent an imbalance between buyers and sellers. And then we also have harmonics as well. So you can actually see on the higher time frame charts, we actually had a few harmonics here. You've got a developing harmonic below us in that crab. I would love to see price just flush all the way down to that. Those things play on over time. You've got other patterns that play out in higher time frames. So we had a 2-finger salute. over here. That's a trade setup that is known to the AlgoBox community. That indicator fires for us so we can see it. So we're trading the same things, just slightly differently. But we're looking at it on a much... way it works is an order of operations. You start in the far left-hand corner of the charts. This is forming your trading thesis along with... So this is an 89 range down to an optimized range for the week, which is our 43 range this week. Then we run that through our filter here, which is our MACV. So this is it's a 9 algobar chart, somewhat close to a 24 range chart, but it's based on our algobars, which are part of the system that we trade. Then we have on that we get a bias around short or long. Down, you can see it in the histogram down here in the MACV. And then we have two different size ripple charts here. So ripple B, ripple A. This is on a 3. It's very similar to like Jesse said. That's very similar to. Here's the flush. Let's go.
It's a modified Renko bar, and it's similar to like what 9 ticks, I think.
Yeah, close.
Yeah. So essentially, what we're looking for with my boys all day is we're looking for a confluence between Fibonacci levels, Elliott waves, and order flow events. When all three things line up in a certain spot, we get a signal.
Yeah, so like that Smurf dot right there would have been a high confluence event around Elliott and Fib levels. Obviously didn't pan out, but it did go. Let's go. Come on. I'm looking for 26 plus ticks here. And we're halfway through that now. Just want to see it flush the lows. Keep going.
Yeah, my micro's up $54. Let's go.
Let's go. Come on. So keep pushing down. Get towards target 2 is ideally. I don't like the fact that we've got this big delta formation down here, though. I will not lie.
That was a pretty big delta dump right there.
Yeah, I am seeing lots of liquidity down at 125, though.
Look at that PRZ. Look at that crab on your 9s.
Yeah, down around 115. It also lines up with the kind of close to the crab on the 6s. And if I look down here, oh, look. There's a harmonic pattern on the 3s as well. Let's go.
Hold on, let me move my chart. Woo, there's a diamond and a crab. Yes, let's get down there.
Let's go. I would exit around that spot. Won't lie. Oh, we just broke the low of the day.
Yeah, it tagged it. Now it's pushing up.
That sucks. I don't like that. I won't lie. I don't like the fact that it only broke it by a tick. Let's go. Come on. Get down there and push. Give me one more push down.
You see how it dropped out right on that king timing?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful move down.
Yep. I still have buyers stepping in. Tell you what, I've held it this long. I just hate seeing buyers there. I want to see a push down, but I'm not going to get it. We broke it by one tick, right? I would love a better entry in here.
Yeah, it just barely. I mean, I don't even think it moved. It didn't move the red dotted line down, but it did break it.
Broke it by a tick.
Oh, it did move it down. We just haven't made enough bars to show that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm hearing buyers. I'm gonna hold on though. I think we're taking one more leg down. I think we're gonna tap into that crab on the. Wow, that's a pretty big move. Yeah, I think we're gonna hit that crab on the nines. At least get into that diamond on the threes.
We hit the same support bar on the ninth.
Mhm.
Second time. What did we do off that support bar the last time? We pushed all the way up.
Yeah, we pushed up to what is that, like 160-ish?
Yeah, what I'm not seeing is delta. We had just a huge delta dump down there. And that's my problem with it. And that is...
If Mike's still awake, he probably knife caught that one.
Maybe. It's a pretty big delta dump for Asia, especially for this time of night.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent delta dump. Let's see what happens here.
Guardy's back in the house.
Guardy's back.
The kids are sleeping. Welcome back, bud.
So Guardy, I use it in conjunction with all the other stuff that I normally trade. So, I'll admit today I smashed a couple trades right off of Jesse's strategy. I also took a couple against the channels. One that worked, one that did not. And actually early in the stream, I took one against the channels, and I actually made a comment. I say earlier in this stream, it was the stream prior. I actually made the comment as I was taking it that I'll never do this again, and that Jesse would make fun of me if he was in the stream.
Yeah, I think we all privately to ourselves say that all the time. Please, God, I'll never do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And with my boys all day, I would agree with you. I think at some point between now and the close of business tomorrow, we will have hit that 21, 185, 25 mark. It's a pretty high probability target. I think if you follow Mike Schwartz, he would talk about that from his volume profile trading strategies and say that that's a very high probability target. And I don't disagree with it. Do hear nothing but buyers. It is 88%. I don't like it. Should have taken it while I was up there, but
yeah, but the tape is more red than green, so I don't trust this move up.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Still got liquidity down at 30, 29. So a little bit of liquidity at 44 and a quarter, which would kind of match up with the 200. We'll see what happens there again. Like I said, this could beat me right in the face, and I'm okay with that. We are on king timing for the So with my boys all day, I will say this, you can get a 2-week free trial over there at AlgoBoxPro.com and use code Nomad if you do go ahead and buy it, and you can get 50% off the advertised price there. So it is the best deal that is available to you. So definitely, it comes with, obviously we have a Discord room. It's not ours. It is Vinny's, the creator of the product. Lots of training in there. The training program is laid out. It's 120 days worth of training. It is a fantastic price action, real-time order flow system.
Yeah, and you're good at calling the direction of the market on a daily basis. If you know we're heading down, you just take all the order flow event shorts that you can get all day long, for 15 or 20 ticks over and over and over again. You're in the money.
Yep. And Johnny C. I literally just opened a fortune cookie that said, make the system work for you, not the other way around. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. We should
Vinny says that all the time.
Yes. Yeah, if you have some way of developing your own bias for the market and this can add value to your trading system, it is a great, arguably it's the most powerful set of tools out there. Will not deny that. It is quite it's a great market visualization tool is one way it was described to me. And it absolutely is. If you can see what's happening with order flow, which is what this tool actually does, it gives you a nice visual representation of that. Then you add that to your trading bias, and you probably have magic.
Oh, crap. I already stopped sharing my screen in Gardy. I missed the question from Gardy. I'll talk through it.
Okay.
I think you run the 9s on your 3s too, right?
I do not.
Oh,
I run
shoot.
only I only have one data series on my charts. I'm not challenged enough to just move. I've got plenty of screen real estate though, right? So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Gardy, so that's a key difference between most AlgoBox users who've got plenty of screen real estate and myself. I've got one 32-inch monitor, and that's all the space I have because I had to give up my office to my son who's in college. So for now, I'm limited to a 32-inch screen. So what I was trying to do is kind of condense down my charts as far as I could, but still have as much visibility of the higher time frames as possible. So in doing that, now I still run the 9s. I run the MACV chart, but what I found is if I can focus my vision on the 3s, and the 3s are pulling over some of the elements of the 9s right on the same chart, it helps me focus in and not have to, my eyes don't drift around on me all the time. So I'll stock the trade on the wave. The tide gives me the general idea of, hey, we're going down today, or we're going up today, right? And then I'll stock the trades on the 44s, the wave, and then I'll dial in closer when it's getting close to an area where I'm interested. Then I'll start watching my 3s. And so, yeah, I have two data series. I have the AlgoBar 3s and the AlgoBar 9s. And then on the 9s, I set everything on it to transparent. So I don't actually see it on the chart. It's just running in the background. So I hope that makes sense. And then I run the channel regulators and the support and resistance indicators off of the 9 data series.
All right. Jesse, picture's changing, buddy. Let's see. What does your tape say?
It's back and forth. Okay, more red than green now.
Okay.
And I got some pink, which is strong sell. More pink, strong sell. And the price action's moving down slightly, so that would confirm that. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, just the order book keeps. Algos are playing fun.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see it in Bookmap.
It's also the high frequency traders that are okay with 3 or 4 ticks in either direction. I can't afford the commissions on that. We have to pay commissions as retail traders. So
Yeah.
those algos and high frequency people are just bouncing back and forth within a 2 or 3 tick range. I think they get free commissions, so it doesn't apply to us.
So with my boys all day, you can actually use this because it's built from an order flow perspective with order flow primarily in mind. You could use this legitimately against any tradable instrument, whether that be stocks, whether that be ETFs, whether that be forex currency pairs, whether that be anything in the futures market. There's actually AlgoBox for stocks coming out if it hasn't already been released. It may have already been released by now.
Yeah, and just to clarify too, with my boys all day, you already know that your sentiment, like you can call the NQ, you know which direction it's going. What AlgoBox lets you do is get in and out in multiple trades throughout the day using pinpoint entries instead of just generalizations, right? So you can get in, grab 20 ticks, get out, get in again, grab 20 ticks, and get out. You using the pinpoint entries of order flow. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's better to see us trade maybe around in the New York session, actually.
Yeah.
Because you actually see that's where the power of the system actually comes in all fairness. Right now, don't get me wrong, this is definitely still tradable. It's not ideal. As a matter of fact, for the bar type I'm on, it's way too slow. But I can change the size bar. And I can go to a smaller bar type. And all of a sudden, my picture's different. And I've had just here, I've had one quick tradable signal. That was good for 20 ticks.
Hey, can you scroll back and show him a fib dot? I want to talk about fib dots.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me...
He says he used to trade or learned about Elliott waves. And so one of the things that's real powerful for me, what brought me to AlgoBox was A, the harmonic patterns, which I love, but also B, what Vinny calls and what's called a fib dot in AlgoBox.
And of course, that's too far back to show. Let me try to get it on a twos.
I think it only draws back 250 of them or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So let me see if I can't get maybe on the twos. There's one. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, so there's one right here.
Hey, zoom in on that. So what this is, if you see that red dot right there, that is a Fibonacci level that lines up exactly on an Elliott wave. And you can see the pattern, the red lines leading into that dot, and those give you the clue on how big of a move triggered that, right? So you can expect, the way I play them anyways, is that if you're going to play a fib dot, which is a Fibonacci level and an Elliott wave lining up at the same exact point. Now, we technically, we would like to play that with an order flow event also. But if you play those, you can expect a move about the same size as the leg that led into the dot. And you can see in that example right there, the price bounced right back down the same distance it came into that dot. So I don't know the tick value there, but it doesn't look like quite 20 ticks. So it wouldn't be one of the trades I would take. But, if you got one of our crosses right on that fib dot, we call that a headshot. Now you've got an Elliott wave, a Fibonacci level, and an order flow imbalance right all on the same exact spot. It gives you a precise entry. So that's how we play this.
Very much game-like.
Let me go back. I think I missed something from Gardy. Hold on a second. Yeah, he's got the 9 data on the 2s and 3s to see the Bollinger Band. Yeah. So there's somebody in the Discord that does that. I think, isn't that Don W?
That uses the Bollinger Bands on...
Yeah, exactly. So if you've already got the 9 data series on your 2s and 3s, you can easily add a couple more indicators and run them on that same data series, exactly like what you're doing with the Bollinger Band.
Yep.
So that's what I do with the channel regulator and the support and resistance. So if you add those two, another copy of those two indicators and run them on that 9 data series, you'll have exactly what I'm doing.
Come on.
And so then I only take trades in the direction of both channel regulators. So they both got to be green or red. And then I only take trades in that direction, and only when the price comes up or down into the lower third of those channels. For me, that all of those things in conjunction give me a better chance at winning the trades, and they go farther, bigger targets.
Let's go. Give us a push. We're waiting on that king timing leg. I mean, we're getting close to it over here. There's your fib dot right there. Now it's a dot by itself, so it really means not much on its own, but that could result in a push back all the way up to 42 from here. I can give you a tick value on that real quick.
With my boys all day, while John's looking up the tick value, I think a lot of the AlgoBox users will have like one big screen in the middle, and then a couple of like 32-inch ones, one on each side, kind of turned vertically.
Yep.
And then the goal is you can run this, you'll have all these charts you see on John's screen right now. You'll have that same setup, but across all 4 of the future indices.
It'll look something just like that. So I've got a 55 here and then 2 32s turned vertically.
Exactly. So you'll have all these same charts on NQ, RTY, ES, and YM.
And admittedly, you don't have to do, and what's neat is out of the box, you don't actually have to go build. So this is an NQ only workspace, but I'm going to just let this trade roll. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to load up a different workspace, and if you wanted to, you could trade all 4 major indices. Pray you work.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Now, for me, I only have one 32-inch monitor, so I can't. I've tried this. It doesn't
I don't
work.
ever trade this, but you could sit here and trade all 4 major indices. So up in the top left quadrant, you have the YM. Bottom left quadrant, you have the NQ. You have the RTY in the bottom right, and then you have the ES in the top right.
Lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
Whoa!
We're getting that flush.
I'm out.
Let's go. I'm looking for more. I think we're gonna go to that PRZ. I'm looking for that crab on the 9s. Of course, I only have one micro contract on, so I can afford to let it roll here.
Okay. Bear with me real quick, because I've got a...
Guardy, yes, that's my rule set. So next time I'm sharing my screen, maybe on one of the next streams, I'll run through it again visually. I don't know about you, but for me, I like to see it visually. Actually, Guardy, I don't know if you saw my post in the Discord today where I put a screenshot of those 2 trades I took back to back. They were pretty big winners for me. Actually made my whole day. 2 trades, $1,000 across 20 accounts. So I guess if you do the math, that was $20,000 in 2 trades. And those were perfect examples of both channels being green, an Enigma firing off in the bottom third. And then right after that, I think it was a fib dot in a PRZ zone. Sharks are my favorite. I think it was a shark. They're the most powerful. But 2 trades, boom, boom. I mean, it was huge.
Sorry, I've just got to make sure that trade closed.
Yeah, Guardy, you're right. It is 3 channels because
Double delta NQ on the 6.
Bob, actually, who's usually on this stream, he's the owner of the channel, I think. But I can't keep track of everybody. Yes, it's 3 channels. So I run the channel regulators default settings on the 3s and on the 9s. Now I'm playing around, I'm tweaking those settings a little bit just to see if I can mess around with it, but I keep finding myself going back to Vinny's default settings. But with that said, I do add one more, but I run it, and it's on the 9 data series, but I run it at the width at the top, so same period as the 9s, but I run the width at 1.5. And all that's for, and I changed the lines to like dash dot lines. And what I do there is I'm just looking at it. It kind of helps me
Order
visually see the lower third and
canceled.
the upper third of the channel. So it kind of gives me a no fiddle zone, if you will. It kind of zones out the middle of the channel. And now you don't necessarily need to run that. It just helps me kind of clearly see the area where I probably shouldn't be getting into any trades. If that makes sense.
Order canceled.
Well, that stunk. Oh, that would be why. Look at that.
What happened?
I didn't have the ATM copy feature on, so it didn't exit me out gracefully on my trade the way it's supposed to. That's alright. I didn't make as much money as I should have, but I still made money on the trade, so.
Okay, so now we've got so on that push, that was nowhere near the delta dump we had on that previous dropout.
Yep.
And we've got 2 double deltas in a row. So, like with my boys all day is saying here, we might start seeing the rollover now.
Could.
We might not get down into those PRZs.
We may not. We very well may not. And it could be... It didn't push down straight down to target 2 either. I would have liked to see this target 2 taken out on that. It's not done yet, but it sure is doing a lot of work trying to get there.
Yeah, Gardy, if the guys stream again tomorrow, I'll share my screen and walk through. I'll show the...
We will be streaming tomorrow. Just
okay.
No doubt, 100% we will be.
All right. If they invite me on again, I'll share my screen and walk you through exactly how I have the channel set up. Again, for me, I'm still using the AlgoBox signals and the order of operations. It's just one more additional visual filter for me to keep me out. Now, it keeps me out of some good trades, I will admit. It keeps me out of some good trades, but it also keeps me out of an equal amount of bad trades. So for me, those are a push, right? A wash. And so why spend commissions on a washed out set of trades? So I just focus on, both channels got to be the same color, and my entry signal's got to be in the upper or lower third of the channel. So
here we go. We're still pushing.
Okay, drop, baby. Let's get down into that
so
PRZ.
This is another case where I've seen this. I've seen this a couple times with those double deltas, where it actually ends up kind of working like a double cross.
That's true. That's very true. And if you're range bound and you get those, then it's like a double cross reversal.
Correct.
Let's see what happens here. I mean, the time and sells is all red right now. So
yeah, everything I'm seeing is all red.
Oh, there's a bright green, big bright green. So we just had a bunch of buyers. Oh, now more green. So buyers are.
Is that buyers or is that stops?
Well, we're not pushing through stops though, so it's actually, I don't know. I think it's buyers.
It's buy side volume. I'm actually.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I will say this. Market Pulse says the sentiment's still short. That's based on order flow right now.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready to kill my trade-off. So this micro I've been in for hours is now up $65. I'm not
And
going
we're
to pull
not
it off.
stretched. The other thing I'm looking at is on the downside of the Mac V, we're not quite at reversal levels yet, although we are pushing out of the no fiddle zone.
Yeah, and so there we got that cross, and when that cross showed up, there was bright green on the tape. So
Yeah, so that's how easy. If you actually take and press down the middle button, I don't know if you can see it here. I know in previous versions you could actually see the volume. And what you're actually seeing, and I think how he's determining that, is the volume is, you know how it says buy supply or sell supply?
yeah,
It would have a much larger volume towards the buy side, which is why you're seeing price go up.
yeah. Yeah, so we answered our previous question from a moment ago where was that stops or active buyers? I think it's active buyers.
Yep.
So I think people are starting to feel like, okay, we've reached the low of the night, which is in line with what our guest here says with my boys all day. And we had those two double delta pushes there that are much less selling delta than we had previously on that drop.
So Jesse, got a question in the chat here for you. So would you take a single fib dot if your setup occurs, or do you need more than that?
Yes, Eric. However, on my fib dots, would you mind showing this real quick? Can you go into the settings of your fib dots?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I'm not advocating this. This is why my nickname is the Outlaw Trader, right? Because I do things a little bit different. So I'm not suggesting you go against Vinny's settings because he's the master and he's really good at what
I'm
what he
assuming
does.
you turn off medium and large?
No, I only turn off the smallest one. What is it called? Medium?
Yeah, what did we... Honey Badger, so...
Yeah.
Honey Badger, so this is disabled.
Yeah, so the top one gets disabled. The other ones are Honey Badger. Yep, there you go. So with that said, if you're looking at John's screen right now, when I get a fib dot, it's only a big one that's powerful. Okay. So with that said, yes, I'll take a naked fib dot if it's in my setup.
So yeah, hop into the Discord. You can actually see guys that post their P&Ls. You can actually see the trades they take. It's a tight-knit community, so we all work together. So we have plenty of trade examples of great trades taken throughout the day. So that way you can actually learn, other people's good setups. Jesse's not the only one with his system. I'm certainly not the only one with mine. We all customize it to work within our trading strategies in alignment with the teachings that have come out by the tool's creator, Vinny Mini.
Yeah, good idea, Johnny. Let's put a link in the chat. AlgoBoxPro.com.
Yeah. I think it's in... Ooh, maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't default in there. And then the Discord. I think the Discord link is on... I can find it. AlgoBox. Invite. There's just some simple rules in the Discord. Just know DMing anybody will get you, just ask any questions you have out in the public community. DMing anyone will get you banned from the server, so.
Yeah, there are some strict rules. Yeah, you don't want to direct message anybody. And he just said, hey, we all have a very similar backstory. We've all spent a ton of time and money following the wrong teachings, buying the wrong software, failing, and then finally landing on something that works for us. And we just happen to AlgoBox happens to be that solution for us. So I've tried everything out there for years.
Invite people.
Patterns I skip. So Eric, to be honest with you, I don't skip anything. So if something occurs, order flow or fib level, so the PRZ zones are harmonic driven, the dots are fib levels and Elliott waves, and then the king timing, I believe, is based off of an Elliott wave also. I'm not sure on that one though. But any of that kind of stuff, any combination of those things happening within my setup, I don't skip any of it. But with that said, like you just saw, John showed off I do have the medium level fib dots turned off. I only want to see the brighter colored ones. Those are power dots, right? And then I also have tweaked a little bit of my harmonic patterns indicator. I've increased the impulse leg setting. I doubled it basically. So the only PRZ zones that show up on my charts are bigger ones that should equate to larger moves coming out of them. So I don't ignore any. What was the question? I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. Skip. Yeah, I don't skip anything, but I've turned off a couple of the smaller things, if that makes sense, because I trade with a prop firm that requires me to get 20 ticks out of every trade, or on average. So I can't go for 10 tick targets and 15 tick targets like I used to. So, and that's not a problem on Apex. So if you're trading with Apex or you're trading with your own funds, that's not an issue. But if you're trading with any prop firm, like I have accounts with Tradeify, and because I copy trade across Apex and Tradeify, I have to follow the rules of Tradeify because they're more strict. Or I guess I could trade them separately, but I don't want to do that. It's easier for me to just fire off 2 or 3 trades and be done for the day. So I hope that answers that. Yeah, it's the best with my boys all day. I mean, if you like Fibonacci levels and you like Elliott wave stuff and you like the harmonic patterns, you know what we should do? We should have in our clipboard and ready to post in the chat. I should do this in the future. There's a great article that I learned a lot from a couple years ago about harmonic levels. And once I learned about all that, and then I found AlgoBox, which is based off of all the harmonics, this was a no-brainer for me because it matches my style of trading and what I like to do, because it mixes in the confluence of fib levels, Elliott waves, harmonic patterns, plus real-time order flow events happening right in front of you. So when you get some of those things all happening in the same precise spot, that's when we execute our trades. It's a great system. Vinny's done an excellent job putting it all together. Yeah, just Guardian, but that's right. We wake up at we're on the West Coast of the United States, so I'm in California, and so we wake up at 5:30 a.m. Takes a while to kind of get the brain working, but yeah, my wife gets up to go make our mochas. I tune in the mic, and she's putzing around a little bit, brings in the coffees, and I'm usually right about then, I'm 1 or 2 trades in and pretty much done, unless one of those trades was a loser and I got to keep going. But yeah, it's usually pretty quick. I mean, that's the power of leveraging all these prop firm accounts. You don't have to sit there and trade all day long. I mean, $200 to $400 a day across 20 or more accounts. I mean, that's a lot of money.
still pushing down and still liquidity below us. Will not lie. Fib dot on the higher time frame. Now we did just get, here's one of your fib dots on the 9s. Jesse?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a pretty powerful fib dot because it's on a higher bar size and it's bright blue.
It's the most
that
powerful
one,
fib dot we have long.
Now, if that was inside that PRZ, it would obviously be way more powerful. So it's right now it's just a naked fib dot, right?
Yep.
Well, no, it's on a Bollinger Band touch.
It's on a Bollinger Band touch on a support and resistance bar. So on a support bar. Although, let's look.
Now, if it was in a PRZ or had a cross or all of the above, I mean, I'm taking that all day long. Well, if my channels line up.
Right. Right now, I mean, it still looks like on the 43 range bar, we're in the Bollinger Bands on the low side there. On the 89s, we are not. So on the 89s, it tells me we've still got room to go down. You've still got another 25 points down, potentially.
Well, we'll see. I mean, with all those double deltas, though, I mean, yeah. So it's mixed emotions right now. I think the market wants to turn around and go up, and I think that naked point of control up there that
you're cracking that dot right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Keep
If
going
we break
south.
that dot, that means the pattern is off, and we're gonna go down. So.
Yes. And you've already cracked the dot on the 3s. That would get us probably to target 2.
Sorry, Eric had a good question. I almost missed it. Sorry, Eric. Do you manage all the... Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, because... So the built-in trade copier in AlgoBox supports up to 20 accounts, okay? If you have more than that, here's what I do. I actually run... So you've seen my charts before. You know that I have those 2 micro charts up at the top of my screen. And I'm just looking at 30-minute, like the last 5 to 7 days of the 30-minute chart, right? So I actually have one trade copier on each of those 2 charts. And by the way, the trade copier, it doesn't matter what chart you put it on. It doesn't pay attention to what instrument the chart it's on, right? It doesn't care. All it does is it looks at your leader account and copies whatever you're doing in any chart.
Lower bands
From that
touch
account
NQ
to
on the
all
43.
other accounts, right?
It's right
so
here.
I've got 2. Yeah, I've got 2 of them running. So I have one of them on one chart, and one of them's on my ES chart, my micro ES, and the other one running on my micro NQ. And then I got all my accounts, like half of my accounts loaded up in one of them, and the other
Divergence
half
up
loaded up in
NQ on the
other.
9.
But the main account at the very top, what does he call it? It's not the leader. It's the, I think it just says copy from this account, right? So on both of them, I have the copy from this account set to SIM 101. And then half my accounts are in one and the other half are in the other.
It says leader account.
Oh, does
Yeah,
it say leader account?
Copy from this account.
Yeah. So I put SIM 101 there, and then I've got all my charts set to the SIM 101 in the ATM area. And so I split my accounts between 2 of Vinny's built-in AlgoBox trade copiers. Now, I don't know if that's officially supported, but that's how I use it, and it works. Works great. I've never had a single problem with it. I hope Eric didn't bail before I got to answer his question. Oh, there he is.
And we'll get the I think I figured out the stream problem there with sharing your chart, but I can't fix it until I'd have to resize my entire screen.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll give another shot next time I'm on.
Yeah, we're not yet allowed to stream in 4K, and I'm trying to. That's our problem. If I scale it down to 1080p, life will be good.
Is that a limitation on YouTube until you get to a certain amount of?
There's an error in our YouTube stream that says you can't stream at 4K to adjust my resolution down.
Gotcha. Oh, so I'm feeding you a 4K signal, but you're only streaming in 1080p, so it downgrades.
And I'm trying to stream in 4K as well.
Oh, okay. So we're really confusing that.
Yeah, we're messing with the algorithm. Just causing problems. The Outlaw's here. What can I say?
Do you have your impulse leg min ticks on your harmonics? What do you have? Yeah, I doubled it. I don't. I think it was 20, and I doubled it to 40. Let me check. Hold on.
Yeah, the default is 20.
Yeah. So I changed the fib dots and the harmonics both. I doubled them both. And so I'm not saying you should do that. I only want to see the larger impulse legs. And so I miss a lot of setups, right? But that's okay because the ones I do get are larger and longer. And that's only because I'm limited to, I can't be targeting 10 and 15 ticks, unfortunately, because I choose to trade with Tradeify.
So interesting thing to note, this thing could have a little more downward leg to it. And the reason why is if you look over here on our nice little wave chart, you've got just ignition bar. So down. Let's see if this one follows the same way. But if it follows with a closed bar there, closed end bar, you might have more downward pressure than what was originally forecast. The other thing that you probably want to know is look what's appeared at 110. And if you look down here at 106.25, which is target 3, you might not make it there.
What's that big red line on your book?
That's 110.
110?
Yeah, 109.75, 110.
Okay.
Just know that that's there.
Gotcha. By the way, I misspoke. So I forgot who was asking about I think it was Eric. The impulse leg on the harmonics, yeah, I doubled it to 40. But on the fib dots, I initially doubled it to 40, but I wasn't getting the ones I wanted. So I dropped it down to 30. So on the harmonics, 40, on the fib dots, 30, and I disabled medium confluence. So I'm only seeing longer fib dots and only the ones that are large or king confluence.
Still pushing south.
But again, I lose opportunities. I lose entries.
So target 2 taken on that J-hook short on the 6s. Target 3 for this would be down here at 21.106 and a quarter.
Yeah, so Gardy, sometimes I'll take some heat, right? So my stop is 40 ticks. However, if price comes down and breaks, so let's say it depends on how strong of an angle the channels are at, right? For what I'm about to say. But let's say my stop is below, keep in mind I'm going long, right? So if my stop is below the channel regulator from the 9s, right? And I've got that like real big and thick, so you can't miss it. If my stop is below that, but price breaks that, for me,
J-hook short NQ on the 3.
Set of rules is broken. So I pretty much try to kill the trade. Now I don't kill it immediately. If it's hesitating right there, I'll wait for it to kind of pull back up into my zone and get what's called a graceful exit, so I don't lose maximum point. Right? So, if it breaks out of the channel, I'm out. If it breaks a fib dot, if my entry was a dot, I'm out.
So here you go. Here's an example. Our channels are down. This channel is definitely down, right? Pink dot on king timing in your channel. And not quite all the way there. Is that an entry?
No. No. Because it's like halfway in the channel, and look how far deep into the channel you are on the 9s.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So you're not even in.
You're
I
in
guess
the,
I should clarify that. When I say the upper third or the lower third of the channel, I'm talking about on the 9s.
You're talking here. You're talking at these levels.
Yeah.
Here,
right?
where you have this cross.
Yeah, so in this example, I would want to see the price come up into the upper third of the channel on the 9s and get a pink fib dot in there in a PRZ. I'm all over it.
Very good clarification. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. Now, like Bob always says, it depends, right? So FOMO gets a hold of us. The market's like AudioBox is booming, right? I mean, if there's other confluences happening, I'm not super strict on that. But this one here, I wouldn't have gone in on this fib dot.
Right.
It's too close to the bottom area. And, we've already got a lot of delta dumps here. We've got a bunch of double deltas. And so, I probably wouldn't have taken that one.
Even if it works. It's another one of those.
Even if it works. So, I miss a lot of trades that end up working out. But again, like I said, I miss some really bad trades too. And it's kind of a wash. So
absolutely.
In my experience. And then, hold on, sorry to talk so much, but somebody else had another question. Single AO. Oh, that's a good question. No, Eric, I never take a single AO or a naked AO. Many times those are just continuations, especially if that AO happened because it was hitting people's stops. All right. So if it's hitting people's stops, usually the price will keep going. There might be a little bit of a pullback or a hesitation, and it'll keep going. So, yeah, I don't play a single AO in the zone. There's got to be something else. If it's a PRZ and boom,
Lower
AO
bands
hits,
touch
maybe I'll
NQ
take
on the
that.
43.
Hey, interesting point of note. Guess what just happened on the 3s? You have a J-hook short on the 3s that's just formed.
And where's the entry? I bet you it's in the upper third of the 9s, the channel on the 9s.
It's back up here at 131. So it'll be,
pretty close to it. Yeah, so see what I'm saying? So if price comes back up to there and we get some kind of bright fib dot or a PRZ forms and we get an order flow event, then, I'm in. Yeah, Eric, I may have explained it that way, or I may have not been too clear on it. Again, it depends, and that's not a hard and fast, quote unquote, hard and fast rule like Apex and the Apex used to call some of their rules. It's not hard and fast, I'm just as guilty as anybody of bending my own rules. But that particular example that we were just talking about, that pink fib dot was way too close to the bottom of this channel we've been bouncing around in.
So interesting enough, with my boys all day. I mean, had we have turned that trade around back then, we would be 20 points to the bad right now. Whereas
that's why order flow is so important. You can't just you can't just say there's a naked POC up here above us, we're going to rotate now. You got to wait till the order flow is telling you we're rotating back up.
So that's my point. My point of that is exactly, it's not to say, hey, because I do agree with you long term over the time frame that we will head back in that direction and go take that price level out. Highly likely tomorrow. However, this tool set told us to keep saying stay short for now.
Yeah. And by the way, while we were talking too, you also got that bright green dot, and so it's at the bottom of a channel. So you'd think, okay, go long off of that dot, but no, the channels are red. I would have stayed out of that trade.
Yep. Which that dot is cracked at this point.
So you can't, well, hindsight's 2020, but I'm just saying as another example of things I would stay out or my system keeps me out of. I mean, there was a point in time where I don't think we were even running the channel regulators on the charts.
No.
And so if you didn't have the channel regulators on the charts and you got that bright green dot there and you're kind of close to a potential PRZ there, there's a lot of people that might have tried to take that long. I would not have, because the channel regulators saved the day for me right there.
I mean, in all fairness, though, you could have taken it for a quick 10, 15 tick scalp, right?
Well, for sure, yeah. So if I was trading my own funds or only Apex or something, or some other prop firm that allows micro trade or micro scalping or whatever they call it,
yeah,
sure,
I mean,
why
you
not?
could take it for a quick 10 tick scalp, no doubt. In the spreads we've been running at night, you would get smashed on your entry and smashed on your exit.
Yeah, I remember a few nights ago, it was crazy.
10 ticks, slipping. I mean, I've slipped as much as like 15 ticks.
Yeah.
Where I was taking trades for 20 ticks and, yeah, I was making literally almost nothing. We are starting to reach getting close to an oversold perspective here on the 89s as well. It's another thing to kind of watch. I love to watch that on these higher time frame charts. Those are, especially on the 89s. I love to see that. That's that in and of itself isn't a reversal signal, but it tells me to start looking for one, that's for sure. Because you can see what happened the previous time it got down on that overbought, oversold indicator.
Mm-hmm.
It was
that was a
sharp
big move
reversal
up.
off the bottom. And I'm imagining you'll see the same thing somewhere around here at the Bollinger Band. That's the way I'll be playing it, I can tell you that. Doesn't mean it works out, but I will be looking for a reversal signal somewhere in that little range around 100. Which...
All right. So this micro, I'm up 82.50 on it. I think I'm going to call it. That's a pretty good... $82 off of one micro, that's pretty good.
Pretty sound, sir.
Yeah.
So that leaves you where for the night?
Well, I didn't close it yet. I'm still debating. Let me pull up my Trade of 8 dashboard. Leaves me, if I close it right now, I'm at 208.88 on 20 Apex accounts.
Nice. You got me whipped, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm still in recovery mode from last week, or maybe it was the week before. I don't remember now.
But in all fairness, that 208.88 puts you 208.88 closer to your what's your goal again? Per day?
400 a day.
Yeah, so you're halfway home.
Halfway home, and the day hasn't even started yet till tomorrow morning.
There you go.
That's what I always tell people when they're like, "Oh, you trade the Asian session? Why? It's so slow." Well, if it can get me $100 or $200, it puts me halfway there for tomorrow.
It definitely makes the pressure less come the morning. I feel that every time.
Yeah, you have a little buffer.
I'm expecting a little bounce out of this area here. Kind of.
Yeah, I should have closed it. Now I'm down to 70. Now, okay, $80. I'm gonna let it ride for a minute. I still think we get down into that
Target 3?
deeper down. Yeah, no, the deeper into that crab. I know we're in it, but
Yeah, I don't think we're done with the down leg yet, but
No,
just to
we
give you a
didn't
picture
hit.
view.
I'm still seeing these target 2 and target 3 off of a short J hook on the 3s too. Hold on a second. I'm missing chats here. Volume profile become an important element for you guys in spring and winter. Gardy, to be fair, I don't even have volume profile. I mean, I tune into Mike every morning, and just so I know the general area of yesterday's market profile, where it ended up, and naked POCs and things like that. But I don't have it. I probably should get it at some point. But I strictly I'll mooch off of Mike or John or Bob.
Check out your Tradeovate connections, because I believe you can actually go into Tradeovate and Order Flow
you can
Plus
add
is
it
built in there. It's free, I think.
Huh.
I discovered that through ETF today, helping Bob get his ETF account set up. It was.
You mean if I actually load the Tradeovate charts?
If you actually go in there into the Tradeovate charts, it's an add-on and it's free.
Wow, that's good news. So, yeah, so from a certain perspective, Gordy, yeah, it's important. It kind of helps know the direction we might be heading today, but really, I mean, the channel regulators do that for me. I mean, and am I concerned with what we're going to do over the course of the day? Not really. I'm following the price action and I'm scalping 26 ticks here and there, Now, if I was going to trade like for longer micro trades, like big moves, hundreds of ticks, which I do try to get sometimes, but that's where the volume profile stuff for me would really come into play.
So, admittedly, I use it. It's nice to know targets that are, especially when I'm within, 20, 25 points, or, so 80 to 100 ticks away. I like knowing that because I'll hold a runner to that area.
That's true. That's a good point too. So Gardy, while it's not important with the system we use with AlgoBox, right? We're just looking for little trades here and there and pinpoint accuracy entries and exits and stuff like that. That's the meat and potatoes. But like John just said, if you know at a bigger time frame, like, hey, we're trading, the reason why we're trading down here is because there's no volume. And it's likely that we're going to go hit this level down here. Then you can hold a runner. It makes it easier to hold a runner instead of get nervous and close out your whole position.
Right.
Now, for me, I only trade one contract at a time, so I don't. My one contract is my runner, and I use a trailing stop to control that. But for people that are trading multiple contracts, you could say you put 3 on and you take 2 off at 15 ticks. If we're likely to go down another 100 ticks, you could keep that last one on and ride it out. So,
yeah,
but I hear you. It's easy to kind of get overwhelmed and feel like you're trying to incorporate too much. I agree with that.
So if I know, like if I, for instance, have an Enigma, it's going in the direction, we're trending in the same direction of, say, that naked POC. So say we were back, 21. So my target would be 21,185, and we're at, 21,165, and we're on a good, strong trend in that direction. Using the ATM I have up in my 3s there, I would take that 40 tick target and just drag it out in the general vicinity of that short, front running that 21,185. And I might front run it by, 15 ticks. I don't care, but it gets me in the ballpark up there. So that way I can take on just that longer target, because my biggest thing, and I've talked about this a couple times on stream, I'm trying to find ways to gain lower risk trades and hold my targets out for much longer. So if you ever see me trading any of the harmonics on stream, for instance, some of the sharks that pop up, like this shark here, I would have held all the way to here, because this is the actual target 2. If you actually go follow the actual guy who created the shark pattern, his stop goes behind here, but his target is actually the leg that comes into that. So you follow the triangle that comes back into it, and that's where target 2 would be at. And if you actually look, the back of the shark was never cracked, and this target actually gets hit. Now it's hit an hour later sometimes. In normal New York trading, it's well longer. It's 30 minutes, but you can hold it and you can capture a single contract trade for 90 ticks, 100 ticks.
Yeah,
so
and
I want to enter
better.
the market less times and be able to hold a position longer. That's what I try to do. That's the thing I'm challenged with, and that's the thing I continue to work on.
Yeah, I think I've talked about it before too, where when it comes to harmonics, I really value the PRZs at using those as targets. But what I really like about what John and Bob do is they look at the actual structure that formed the PRZ, and they use those structure points as targets coming out of the PRZ.
Right.
So while I've played into the PRZ and used those kind of as my exits, sometimes my entries, if there's an order flow event in there or something else. But then I'm letting my trailing stop take over from there instead of targeting the structure that formed that PRZ, which is pretty awesome, and usually a much bigger win than what I'm used to. So I gotta start. I'm gonna start trying to incorporate that.
It's something to backtest. It's definitely something to backtest.
Yeah.
But what's funny is harmonics is what drove a good chunk of us into AlgoBox.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's even better if you do get those order flow events inside of that. So if you get the cross, if you get the alpha omega, if you get the, I mean, how many times have we all seen an enigma pop up on the back of a shark? And that move that comes out of there, well, on the right size shark, if you've got the right size legs leading into it, that's a pretty hellacious move coming out.
Yeah, it's wicked. I love those setups.
Yes.
Let me answer Eric's question here. Do I short at night and go long only during the regular hours? Eric, I try never to short. For whatever reason today, these guys got on stream and it's been a few days I was having withdrawals. And so I got excited. The market was moving down. I FOMO'd into a micro short. I usually never really short, to be honest with you. So no, I'm usually looking for longs. And when all we have is downward movement or the channels are red all night long like this, I usually just don't trade. I just chit chat in the comments with you guys, or if I'm on the stream, I talk through some setups that other people are doing. I normally don't trade. In fact, that's the only trade I took tonight, I think. No.
Nope, can't be. You took another one somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder what I did. I'd have to look back. Because, yeah, Matt, so I
had to
closed
be
that
a
trade,
short
by
to
the
be
way.
a winner.
Yeah, I closed that trade at $80 on one micro, and so, or almost $80. So I'm up 206 for the night. So yeah, I must have done another trade, and it was probably one other trade because my trailing stop usually gets me right around that $120 to $130. So that would make sense mathematically. I just don't remember what I did. It must have been. Let me look at the charts here. Because I'm assuming the channel on the nines have been red all night, right? The whole entire session. So
Pretty much.
I must have done another short, which is crazy because I'm serious. I'm trying to be as honest as possible. I usually don't short. So that's pretty cool. 2 shorts tonight, 2 winners. Thank you guys for pulling me over to the dark side.
You're welcome. Like I said, there's a 12-step program. I'll send you the invite to that program. I don't know why. I feel like I see the short trades better than I do, and my P&L says it.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I can, maybe it's just the way we view things. So if you're looking at a chart, if everything's moving down and to the right, it works better for you mentally. Whereas for me, if it's moving up and to the right, I can see things better.
Seeing if it's moving up, I'm trying to figure out where to press short, where to reverse it.
That's funny.
But it's because of my overall bias towards what I think is fair value in the market.
That's true. I mean, I wonder why I don't, because clearly I feel fair value is somewhere around the $700, $800 range. And so I wonder why that doesn't steer my, my decisions into taking shorts. So there's a pink dot. We're above that PRZ. Channels are all red. It's right up there where it should be, up in that upper area. I don't take that short by itself. What are you thinking?
I don't take that.
Wait a minute. There is so sometimes I forget that I turned off or changed my harmonics. So I don't have that PRZ that you've got on your chart.
The butterfly there? I don't take the butterfly just due to the size of it.
On the threes, that red PRZ, that's a butterfly?
That's a butterfly, and I don't take it just due to the size of the T1. My T1 there would have been 10 ticks at most.
Lower bands to NQ on the 43.
Harmonic at all.
But did you get a hold on, is my stream live? Did you not get a pink dot inside that PRZ?
No.
I've got a pink dot right there.
No, I don't have a pink dot there.
So had you got a pink dot right there, would you take that short?
No. My T1 would have been where price was at when you mentioned it. My T1 would have been 10 ticks. I could care less about that move.
So
now this crab down here absolutely has my attention because that crab could present a much better target scenario for me. It doesn't mean it works.
So can I talk through that butterfly real quick?
Yeah.
So let's say that I didn't have a long bias, right? And I did trade shorts, and I was a normal person. If I hadn't changed my harmonics to, what did I change them to? A 40 on the impulse leg, I would have gotten that butterfly you're looking at, and I would have had a pink fib dot in there, and I might have jumped all over it. And guess what? We blew right through it, and I would have lost that trade. So just one example of some of the small little changes I've made to keep me out of the potential smaller trades. So,
and admittedly, I probably should adjust my those harmonic values for the impulse legs, because I just mentally filter those out. I see where the triangles intersect, and I completely blow them off just mentally before they even really form.
And I guess I should mention that I have the actual, I still haven't turned those on, so I don't see the actual structure that builds the PRZ. I turn that off.
Yeah.
I probably should turn it back on, especially if I'm going to start practicing targeting the structures that built the PRZs. But the point is I didn't get that PRZ because of the settings that I changed. And therefore I wouldn't have taken that trade and taken a loss right there.
And that's what I'm saying. I should probably, because I mentally filter them out, I should just, instead of mentally filtering them out, just no longer cloud my view of them at all and have them eliminated from my charts. So I should adopt more of your settings because you're doing the same thing. I just have it up on my chart.
Yeah. So Eric, That's one thing we haven't talked about a lot on the stream, I don't think, or maybe I've missed it. But the fiddle zone on the MACV, that's relevant, and I do use that. But here's how I use it. I don't avoid trades just because we're moving through, like if we're moving through that no fiddle zone, right? What I try to avoid is if we're stuck and we're just kind of in that no fiddle zone for a while. And so, if both channels are the same color and they have an angle to them, chances are, whether you're shorting or you're going long or whatever, chances are that no fiddle zone is probably not relevant because the channels are at an angle. Let's say 30 degrees or 45-degree angle. That means you're in a strong trend. There's a reason why the channels are at that angle. And so I don't necessarily use the no fiddle zone to filter out my trades in those scenarios. But if the channel regulator on the 9s is flat, then that no fiddle zone becomes super important, because the no fiddle zone is pretty much going to be right in the middle of the channel where I don't want to be taking trades anyways. Does that make sense? So if we're coming up through that no fiddle zone and I get a perfect setup on a pullback in green channels, I'm not going to avoid that setup or that signal just because the MACV happens to be right in the no fiddle zone, right? Because if the MACV, is going to have some angle to it as it's coming up through that no fiddle zone. I probably butchered what I was trying to explain, but if we're stuck in the no fiddle zone, I'm not taking trades. But if we're moving up through it and down through it and up through it, then it's fair play.
All right, come on, come to this crap. Come to Papa.
By the way, if you can use the channels and get this type of a setup, when, let's say for example, when the MACV is down below the no fiddle zone and you get this perfect setup, it's going to be more powerful because, like Vinny teaches, that MACV is like a rubber band, and the further you pull it away, when it snaps, the price is just going to fly. The problem with that is that usually the channels have been red for a while and they're just now flattening out or turning green, and you miss those reversals if you're using my setup. But I'm okay with missing the initial reversal and that initial fast move. I'm okay with that. I'll wait for a little bit of a pullback or whatever. I'll wait for another signal, and then I'll jump on the.
Have you ever looked in a long? And I've noticed this just in the last week, right? I didn't know your trading strategy prior. And Eric, I see your question there around how many losses in a row. But have you noticed anything around? And what I've actually looked at is like the first test in a long. So after the channels have flipped, that first test to the lower half of that channel, of the actual channel wall, do you have any data around like how often that produces your wins? I'd be willing to bet it's got to be better than 90-something%.
Yeah, you know what it is? I don't document this or take notes or anything, but just mentally, I think it's the biggest wins, but it's also the fastest losers, because that's a real sensitive time, right? The market is changing its direction,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not yet established. So it's not a super established trend when we're down there like that. And so those trades are probably some of the biggest winners, but also they're probably half and half as far as losing.
Really?
Losing versus winning. Yeah.
I guess perceptions. Yeah. It's one of the cases where perception and reality are probably two different things.
Well, no, but I mean, it does generate the bigger winners, though. That's clear to me, because the thing is like the direction has either changed or it was a fake out, right? And if it's a fake out, it's a loss. Now, luckily, I'll usually, like, say it was a fib dot entry, the loss is minimal.
Right.
But if it was like an order flow event entry or a PRZ based something or other, my stop is 40 ticks behind there. So I'm taking a pretty big loss when that happens. But if it is an actual reversal and there's going to be a trend continuation, that first entry off of a reversal like that is usually a really good one.
Yeah, it's a rip.
Yeah, a rip for sure.
So, how many losses in a row do you normally get when they happen?
Not many.
I mean, if your win percentage is what, 88%?
Yeah, I've been trying to convince. By the way, I'm going to sidetrack for just a second, but I'll come back to that. I've been trying to convince myself that if I get 3 losses, not even in a row, but 3 losses in a trading session, I'm done. Like, I'm clearly not seeing something correctly, or I'm in the wrong frame of mind, or just something's off. The market's too jittery. Like, it's not moving 26 ticks in any direction. It's just ripping back and forth. I'm entering, my timing's off. Something's off. So if I lose 3 times, I'm trying to teach myself to just be done, walk away, go do something else for a while, come back. And when I come back, I've got to just sit there and watch it for 10 or 15 minutes to make sure I'm clear on what's happening before I start trading again. So I'm getting better at that. I'm trying to set a hard rule for myself. 3 losses and that's it. You're done, dude. Walk away. And so that could be a fib dot loss, which is not very much. It's a tiny loss. Or it could be a full 40 tick stop out. So
Jesse, I'm not so convinced we might not go fill this gap in our little chart down here tonight.
Really? What gap? Point it out.
So if I pull over
Lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
30-minute, I'm trying to look at the orders that are below us. Let me get closer in. Let me zoom in. But you have this,
I don't know, but right now I'm wishing I didn't close that micro. Sorry to interrupt.
Divergence up NQ on the 9.
We're dropping. Woo! Getting some movement.
Okay, I've gotta do this real quick. I'm not ready for it. Shit.
Yeah, and now we're in the very bottom of the channel too, so don't FOMO into this, but I think we're gonna go. Wait for it to pull back up to the top of these PRZs.
I was actually trying to take that long.
Oh.
I was too late on it because I didn't have the right ATM selected for it.
Well, you know what they say, don't fight the trend. The trend is your friend.
What I don't like is that it did just go direct to T1. So, thanks for giving me a few seconds to think my way through. But let me go here to let me try to scale this down. But here to here is nothing but single print.
Gotcha.
We haven't retraced this area at all with another candle.
So I was initially targeting the top of that zone you just drew out, right? So that's the bottom of the big candles from earlier. And so that was my initial target when I had that idea to take that micro short, but I bailed on it.
Yeah, I'm just seeing. So, interesting thing, if I line this up over here.
21, so gained weight is 21,050 tonight, then I will sleep. Oh shoot, I didn't even answer Eric's question. I'll let you finish and then I'll go back to that.
So
lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
Build at 2180, 2150, 2122. That's MNQ. But if I look at it on the NQ, I mean, I start seeing down here, I'm starting to see more liquidity build, And look at that 21.037.50 that just popped in the last hour. Last few minutes, actually. It wouldn't shock me to see us go down to that and try to fill at least part of that gap tonight. I'm not saying it will, but it wouldn't shock me to wake up.
I should have left that micro on because we just dropped down another leg. And if what you're saying plays out, oh well, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Profit is profit, sir.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Took
All right,
my 78 bucks or whatever it was. How many losses in a row do you normally get when they happen? Oh yeah. So not many, right? So when you're playing the channels like I do, they're either both green or they're not, right? So, and if you get an order flow event in the right place, it usually plays 88% of the time for me. It plays out in my favor. If it doesn't, then it's gonna break the channel because I'm already I'm trying to enter in the third of the channel, right? So if I get stopped out, that means price action broke the rule set, which means more than likely we're heading the other direction. Or it's a fake, it could be a fake breakout, which we see happen all the time, or a liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it. And if that's the case, it'll head back in my direction. And those are the times when you're yelling at the computer screen saying, yeah, of course, you're going to stop me out and then take off without me. But that's okay. I'll just wait for the next signal and get in again. I don't know. I don't keep track of that, Eric. I probably should. I should have a trade journal, but I want to say it's I'll only have one loss. I never get two in a row. And if I do, that's when I'm just not doing something right. I'm not seeing the market right, or I'm fighting the rule set, or I'm entering off of just price action instead of waiting for a signal. I think that would probably be classified as
Order
FOMO,
filled.
right, John?
Yep. Kind of like that trade right there.
Target filled.
It's I think I know what's going to happen next because I've been watching the markets for a couple of years and I've seen this, thousands of times. It's pulling back right here and then it's going to rip. Well, it doesn't always.
Target filled.
Usually I'm wrong. So what happens is that'll stop me now. But normally, if I'm following my rules, it's it might lose here and there, but 88% of the time it's right. I don't get multiple losses in a row. You're either in a trend or you're not with my trading style.
Order filled.
But of course, we all have those crazy days like I had last week. Mike had that bad day.
Yeah, but you also had, that one night on stream, you had, what was it, $900? Does I remember right? Was it a night?
Lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
It was the night you had 9 contracts, or you had 9 contracts running.
I'm pretty sure that was a market replay though, right? It wasn't real money.
That wasn't real money?
I don't remember. Was that our market replay night?
I don't think so. I think that was a 9 contract. You had 9 contracts running long at one point. And that wasn't market replay.
I don't ever do that. That's crazy. If I did that, it was out of pure excitement of being on the stream with you guys, and that was a huge mistake. I never should have done that. It worked out in my favor twice on that stream, but
yeah,
I really only try to trade one contract at a time because 9 times out of 10, the moment I put on more than one contract, it goes against me, and it's not good.
Instant regret.
Instant regrets.
So I just took all I took there was a quick 10, 15 tick scalp back in the other direction.
Yeah.
That was...
Gardy says we should play the reverse game some night. Yeah, heck yeah. We should all get on like market replay. I don't want to do that with real money or real P.
Hell no. I tried it this weekend. Let's just say my
Yeah.
P&L was not very impressive.
But that sounds like a fun stream to do, like on a Friday night or Saturday or Sunday or something before the market's open.
Yeah, I'll admit I did do that this past weekend. I spent a lot of time in market replay as I was testing out Jesse's ATM there and trying to make my own personalizations to it because he hasn't done enough testing yet. So I was messing with it to try to capture obviously a bigger move, and
well,
yeah,
the whole 26 tick thing came from two things. Number one, I need 20 ticks, right? So I was trying to find a way to not leave money on the table because most moves seem to go farther than 20 ticks with my particular setups that I look for. And so I just had a hard 20 tick target and I was hitting it and everything was great. But then I'd watch it keep going without me. And I'm like, how do I capture some of that? But I'm not fast enough to close it out when there is a pullback. So I just ran with that. And so the other thing is then I started paying attention. Okay, at what point on the NQ in each of these legs, like these impulse legs, at what point do they seem to hesitate or start pulling back? And I just somehow settled on that 26 number. I tried everything from, at 18 ticks, start trailing by 8. At 22, start trailing by 12. I mean, I tried all kinds of things and tested them all out a ton. And I just kept coming back to that 26. It just seems to be, for me anyways, just seems to be that magic number. Where it's like every trade is either 20 ticks or much, much more. So
the reason,
well.
so admittedly, the reason why I like harmonics so much is my stop can be smaller than my targets. That's my goal in a trade, is to always have a stop that is less than my targets from the moment I enter it. Even my T1.
Yeah, and I got to get better at moving my stop, right? Because in the ATM, it's like Gardy just asked. Yes, it's a 40 tick stop. And so as you and most people watching probably know, the AlgoBox trade setups all have a much tighter stop than 40 ticks. So I got to get better at pulling the stops up underneath the PRZs, underneath the fib dots, underneath the enigmas. I got to get better at that because when I do take a loss, it's probably a lot more than I need to be taken. So luckily with my channel, I'm just going to call them the channel filters from now on. Luckily with that, I have a pretty good win rate, but I mean, I could even have, so my win rate would still be the same potentially, but my actual profit and loss would be much better because I'm not taking as much of a loss when I do take one.
So Gardy, I don't know if you can see this, but here's his ATM.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
it's
stop.
on the initial screen. There's no target though. It's
Yeah,
just a
zero.
And so what happens is when NQ will rip up, it'll usually rip up to like 18, like 16 or 18 ticks from my entry, and then just hesitate a little bit, and then it'll rip up again and blow right through that 26 ticks, and then it'll start trailing at 6 ticks behind, and it'll usually tag me out right there, or it'll keep going and I'll get 30, 40, 50 ticks out of it. Yeah, that's a good, Eric. Eric, you know what's funny is for the longest time my stop loss was 30 ticks, 30, and I don't remember what happened. But I changed it to 40 sometime within the last couple of months.
It was the volatility. Remember when I mean, if you entered into some of the trades in that volatility window, I can't remember
Yeah.
when it was. Even a 25 tick stop would get banged in no time due to the spread.
Yeah, and I think what happens is it nailed me. Yeah, that's right. I was using 25 ticks for the longest time. The default out of the box stuff with AlgoBox, I think it's 25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I built my ATMs from there, and I just continued with the 25. But then when the volatility picked way up, I mean, even with actually, I wasn't using the channel regulators then, but I was using like my own mental kind of channels. But yeah, volatility picked up and it would just snap you out real quick and then take off running in the direction you wanted it to go anyhow. So then I moved it to 30 ticks. That worked for a little while, but it kept tagging me and making me mad. So I just moved it to 40 and then it stopped tagging me and my win rate went up. But what I've been trying to pay close attention to is how many of those trades pull against me 30 some odd ticks and then go in my favor, right? Because those aren't real, in my opinion, those aren't real good trades. My entry was not that great. So I'm trying to pay attention to how many times that happens. So let's say, for example, it was a fib dot entry, came against me 30 ticks, but then ultimately went where I thought it was going to go. I could have got a way better entry on that. So I'm trying to pay attention to that. But anyhow, yeah, 30. I hopefully I can get back to a place where I set it to 33 or 30 ticks instead of 40. Overall, that would help the P&L for sure. Thanks for that, Eric. That's true.
So we're still kind of reaching that time of the day. It's 1:30 Eastern.
Yeah, we had a little excitement there with that dropout through those PRZs.
Yeah, there's still a target 3 still down there. I mean, it went right down to 100 or 102. Tagged that liquidity and then popped back up.
Yeah, Eric, the Masher stuff. Yeah, so I've watched that play out in front of my eyes, but I've never had the balls to actually do it.
My suggestion on that is understand how the actual masher actually works.
Yeah, my problem with it is that by the time so I'm long bias, right? And so to play a masher, I have to go against all my grain because the channel on the nines, the red channel, it's red and it's at a pretty strong red downward angle, and so it kind of goes against my whole setup to play the masher. But you know, it more often than not when it plays out, it's a huge trade. I just can't bring myself to do it for whatever reason. Maybe you know what I should maybe do is play it using a micro. Now I don't know if 60 ticks is enough for a micro. I don't know. I need to investigate it a little bit more. I mean, I've seen guys post that stuff in the Discord, and I'm always jealous, but I just can't do it.
It's great once you're past the trailing draw. Once you're past a trailing draw and once you're out into blue sky territory in your accounts, but while you're still fighting a trailing draw, it's a tough trade for prop fund traders to take.
That's true. Yeah, especially on Apex when you have the intraday trailing draw.
Correct. Now, if you're an MFF trader, which is only end of day, it's great. It's a great trade to take. My problem is I have a mix of intraday and end of day accounts. So I trade them all at the same time, so I end up playing by the same rules, which is the most stringent, which is the intraday.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do, and that's why I go for more than 26 on every trade, because Tradeify has that, 20 tick rule. So Whiskers plays it with no stop. Woo wee! I've done some no stop stuff before. It usually doesn't work out well for me. So
I have too. That's why I've busted a ton of accounts in my day.
I mean, my thing too is it's funny. So Eric mentions the mental stop. You know, I always tell myself like, okay, if it breaks that thought, I'm out of here. Well, the problem is I'm not fast enough in most cases, and sometimes I'm an idiot, and I just know it's gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around, and then it goes down and tags me for 40 ticks, right?
Um,
If I could just minimize that by moving my stop up where it should be, up, tuck it up tight up against whatever entry I got in on, I can improve my P&L.
I mean, my case in point was I FOMO'd into
Lower
the
bands
short.
touch NQ on the
It
43.
immediately went against me, and I'm like, well, I'll close it out when it gets to the 50. It gets to the 50, I'm like, book map still looks good. I'm going to close it out when it gets to the 200. It blows through the 200. Now I'm in some heat.
Yeah, we convince ourselves that the trade is still legit when in most cases our entry was based off of a pattern that's now been broken and the trade is not legit anymore.
Correct.
So what we're doing is we're trying to find other mental reasons that make that trade legit still.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to justify my behavior at that point.
Yeah. Gained Weight asks, how do you feel about profit? I don't
Never
know
used them. Don't know anything
Yeah.
about them. I can tell you
Never
I've
heard of
traded
them.
with, I had one account one time with Top Step. I know, Jesse, you had one. I had FTT until they blew up. Bastards. Apex has been a stalwart since I got into the game with prop firms. ETF is another one. I have MFF, ETF, and so my Forex are my funded futures, ETF, Apex, and Blue Sky. And I'll admit, Blue Sky was the hardest account I've ever passed. I made a mistake one day because I wasn't paying attention to their damn consistency rules and evals, and I made $2,700 in a single day on an eval with those guys. And then I realized I had to make they then up your target, and I basically was going to have to make the same as a 150K account, and I promptly just torched the account because it wasn't worth it, because they changed the target for you. It's fantastic. I'll admit they have fantastic tooling. They have great customer service. Their stated goal is to get you live. And they've got interesting programs as well. So once you get to their blue live status, and that's past the sim funded piece, once you get past that piece, which is 90 days, they actually have a prescribed program that's all laid out. If you prove with the account size that you have that you're profitable, they will actually they will scale your account with you. So now the only bad thing is you can only have, I think it's 2 accounts with those guys, but I've traded with them. They're a good program as well. Very different in that they have not only in the intraday trailing drawdown, they have an end of day trailing drawdown, and if you bust the intraday trailing draw, or if you bust the trailing draw on the day, so they have a daily loss, excuse me. If you bust the daily loss, it busts the account. I think on a 50K account, it was like $12.50.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like prop firms that have that. I think there's another one like Take Profit, or one of those other ones does that too.
Yeah, I mean, very stringent rule set, but like I said, their tooling is good. They're very upfront about their rules. The nice thing is their payouts are every day if you want them.
So, Gained Weight says, profit allows you to swing trade. I recently stopped trading my live capital because it's end of the year. I went with them. They seem okay. All right.
Perfect.
The way I qualify a prop firm for me personally is, number one, do they offer trade of 8? if they offer a trade of 8 option, in my opinion, that means they're legit. They've gone through some pretty stringent processes to have a relationship with Trade of 8. Trade of 8, by the way, has to be very careful who they do business with, because they are owned by or a partner to NinjaTrader, who also is a brokerage. Brokerages are regulated. So, in my opinion, if they offer a Trade of 8 option, that means they've gone through that process, they've been vetted, and a brokerage company trusts them. And so, with that said, I'd steer clear of anybody who does not have a Trade of 8 relationship. And then the other thing, like John said, that a prop firm's got to have a stated and clear path to a live account. Moving forward, the industry is going to be regulated, and that's one of the regulations. Well, I don't think we know that yet, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of the regulations, that they've got to have a path to live. And so some of the prop firms out there that just want to keep people in sim forever, that's not going to be okay. So if a prop firm's got a clear path to live documented on their website and a part of their account process, and they've got a relationship with Trade of 8, then in my opinion, they're okay. So I'm not sure about you, Prophet. I've never heard of them, but
So only plug is for ETF right now. For those that you want to try it, they are running 90% off. The benefit to those guys, unlike Apex, so like Apex, you'll buy at 90% off, but it renews every month at 80. It's 90% off for the life of that account, is what I've experienced with those guys. So if you buy a 50K account at $16.50, if it goes to renew another month down the road, it's still $16.50.
that's cool, John. Hey, did they have a straight to funded option or no?
They do not.
Okay, and they have like a one step pass, right? It's pretty easy, like Apex.
Yes, it's a $2,000 drawdown account on a 50K. But
is it intraday?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of pretty much just like Apex.
It's very similar to Apex.
Gotcha. I might have to check it out. I'm not that I need more accounts, but
it's so I view prop firm accounts differently maybe than some. So it's all inventory to me.
Yeah.
It's the way I view it. Yeah, because it's access to capital, right? So it's our inventory as prop firm traders.
Gained weight. It's Elite Trader Funding, ETF, right?
Yeah, I'll drop a link in here for you.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, so that's interesting, John. The way I look at it is, so if the goal for us, the trader and the prop firm, is to move us to a live account, the way I look at it is, I want to take advantage of, let's say for Apex, for example, I got 20 accounts. I want to trade those as long as I can until they move me to live. Now I have one account, right? Now I can no longer leverage 20 contracts. It'd be crazy to trade 20 contracts at a time on NQ in one live account, right? So now I'm limited to, for my own personal reasons, I want to stick to one contract at a time. Well, that will severely reduce my daily income. So the way I look at it is, okay, get the 20 accounts, get them live. I Tradeify also, get to live. Then look at onboarding, for example, 20 accounts at ETF, get that one live. But in the meantime, I'm overlapping all these prop firms so that I've overall, for the majority of the time as I progress through this career path, I'm trading 20 plus accounts at a time so that my daily income level doesn't drop down severely. Does that make sense?
Gained weight, that link is in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out too. I've never heard of them until you guys mentioned that.
Yeah, so I had them a while. I ended up blowing up my PAs with them, I guess, a while back. on a really bad day, to say the least. And they originally they allowed you to do 20 accounts. They had stopped that. They had moved down to 3, but they're back to 20. They moved back to allowing people to go to 20 accounts again. So
Yeah, wouldn't we all want to copy trade our Roth or inside our 401k? I've been desperately searching for a brokerage that will allow me to trade futures inside that type of an account where there's no taxes. I mean, wouldn't that be crazy?
that would be. I've never seen it. Doesn't mean it doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
I
The
can't
only
find
thing
it
I've been
either.
able to do is options.
Yeah,
I've
that's
played the
above
option
my
markets out of my Roth.
that's above my head. But I would love to have a few $1,000 in a 401k or a Roth or IRA or something like that where there's no tax penalty and just build that account up super fast trading futures inside there. I'm sure it exists, but I haven't been able to find anything.
Well, we're getting kind of close down on this Bollinger Band here on the 89s.
Yeah.
I'm getting interested now.
Although if you look a little further down, you got that prior low, which is it good? That going to be a magnet or?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
I don't know. It's a tough spot.
Yeah, we've still got
Guardy.
the Bollinger
Guardy
Band
says
seems to be widening out.
Ninja Trader has IRAs. What? I'm gonna have to look into this.
Ooh, all right. Now, let me go to the old Google machine real quick.
Lower bands touch NQ on the 43.
Trader IRA. Look at that shit.
Now, will they let you trade futures inside that? If this pans out, Guardy, you're a lifesaver. I'm seriously, my next payout from any of these prop firms, I'm putting it straight in there. And I'm going to copy trade that account for sure.
I will dump this right into the... I don't know what it all says, but I will dump this straight from their forum right into the trading chat.
I wonder if that's new or if I was being an idiot when I was trying to search for this type of an account, because I tried looking everywhere. I'm going to read up on all that. All right, so was this just a pull up into the top third here? Well, that's not the top third. We're still in the bottom third of the channel on the 9s.
I am not saying that they do. Can I trade futures? You can trade futures in a SEP, a Roth, a traditional, or a rollover IRA.
I wonder what the margins are. You probably can't get day trader margins in there, though. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some homework on all this. I mean, wouldn't that be crazy if Ninja Trader offered inside their IRA or their standard margins we can trade with? That'd be crazy.
So Charles Schwab allows it a minimum net liquidation value of $25,000 to trade a futures in an IRA. They are eligible for futures trading.
Wow.
At Charles Schwab. Optimus Futures allows it. No margin restrictions. That's pretty crazy. AMP. AMP Futures has IRAs as well. Self-directed IRAs allows you to take complete control of your investment, to include futures trading.
Yeah, I'm starting to think though, now that you've listed off Schwab and AMP, I do think I did find that before. And I think the problem for me anyways, because I'm not that wealthy, is that I think you can't get day trader margins. I think it's full margins. And that's too much risk that's too much for me. So when Gardy mentioned NinjaTrader had IRAs, I was thinking for a moment there, and maybe it's still true. I don't know. I got to do some homework, but if we can get day trader margins inside an IRA account, I'm going to be all over that.
Your mileage may vary. Do your own research and report back.
Yeah.
Let's see if it says margins in here. AMP might be an interesting one because it doesn't mention anything on their margins table based on the account type.
I moved away so I used to trade with AMP, but I moved to NinjaTrader because AMP's got good margin or commissions and margins and all that. But the problem is they change I don't have any money in there right now, but I still get all their notifications and emails, and it's like they change it on every little news event. I don't like having to keep up with all that. It's too much.
All right. Where are we going from here?
I'm hearing AudioBox ticking. It's about to break structure on the channel on the 3s.
And on the 6s.
I don't know where you're going, but I'm gonna head to bed.
Well, that says it all right there, folks. I'm not doing it alone. This is not a job for one. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on tonight. I really don't. I am going to put I'm not going to, as much as I want to put a long on right now back towards that. I can't. I just don't trust it yet.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, what can I do with a micro while I sleep? But I just don't. It could go either way. It could go way back up, or it could go way back down. I just don't know.
Bookmap doesn't give me anything that says it's going long yet. So with that, I'm gonna call it a night. We're gonna bang out another great stream. To all those folks that have been out here with us, Gardy, Eric, thanks so much. Appreciate all the interaction and engagement. We will be back tomorrow evening for another stream. We're gonna actually even try to stream the last hour of the day tomorrow if we can. And anyway, but we'll definitely be back for the stream tomorrow night. So appreciate everyone. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Back to channel dashboard.